Καλή σας ημέρα. Σας ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για την παρουσία σας στη σημερινή εκδήλωση.
Thank you everyone for being here today in the final conference Authentic OliveNet. My name is Despina Parasoulou. I work for the region of Western Greece. We have this Authentic OliveNet project, which began in 2019 February and is terminated in 31st of March 2022. There is a project in which partners were Italy and Greece. The Chamber of Preveza was the main partner. Also, the Ministry of Rural Development contributed. The Agricultural Corporation Asoproli from Italy and the Chamber of Foggia also from Italy. In today's conference, I would like to ask our apologies from the side of Mr. Bonanos and Mr. Zaimis, the Vice Regional Governors. They couldn't attend this conference because of the weather incidents. We're going to start with Mr. Baris Theodoros, the mayor of Erymanthos. He will greet, following Mr. Baris, Mr. Bouris Ioannis, and after we'll have the first vice president of the Women's Entrepreneurship Association of Greece, and we'll have a chat with all partners of the specific project. Thank you again. Please, let's start. Good morning to everyone. Welcome. You are in the municipality of Erymanthos, one of the 5 municipalities of Achaia. Our capital city is Halandritsa. We don't have any seasides, but we have the mountain Erymanthos and the Mount Panachikos, which are of great beauty. You are partners in the program, and you know already that in this area there is a great production of olive oil. And we look forward for the results of this project to be communicated to people of our municipality. The weather is not very good for much in Greece, but I'm optimistic to have this action completed. We are in an area very important, not only for Achaia, but for the region of Western Greece also. We have a mature project also here for Formula 3, which we are trying to implement it now. We had some difficulties, but the mobility is of adequate levels. And in this area, in some years, we may have an additional interest for Western Greece with this Formula 3 circuit. Let me say a couple of things. The authentication of the projects is very significant for the function of the chain, of the production chain, and creating a network for the consumer. The results of this cross-border agreement is of great importance. We would like to welcome people coming from Preveza and other places. welcome from the north and western Greece. In fact, I believe that when completing this action to have fruitful results, we would like to reach high levels and outputs. I believe the content of the program generates great benefits for everyone. So congratulations to everyone who participated in this action. And please plan your next actions because we never stop. I believe such cross-border programs are of great interest because of the mobility generated for the cooperation of the peoples of Europe, because when you meet someone, it's easier later on to comprehend, to live together, and avoid bad incidents in our neighborhood, such as the war in Ukraine. Welcome. I'm optimistic for the progress of this conference, and all the best to everyone. Thank you. Please, Mr. Bouris. Good morning. I'm Yannis Bouris. I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce of Preveza. I'm very glad to be in such a beautiful municipality in an area which is not an area of a city, it's a rural area. But I believe such areas are the areas that in the new areas, the new season, the new periods, we should support such areas in order to proceed and to get out of the crisis. As entrepreneurs, we're focusing towards such objective. We all together contributed in order to implement this project. Is a very significant project for everyone because you had fruitful outcomes. I believe the guests will present from their field the results, and in the next days, I believe we could implement such policies. I believe this project gives an answer to the problems that we all have faced. We have a lot of olive oil producers among us, and we see we don't have collective attempts, and that's why we are here. Our olive oil, the gold of our country, I believe there is an element, a product that could bring a lot of benefits to local societies. And allow me to state the situation as it is. The oil of our area of the Western Greece has nothing to be jealous of the oils of other countries. Our disadvantage is that there are not initiatives and policies in order to export and communicate the added value of our olive oil. And what happens? People come and buy our oil as a raw material. They process it, and especially in the last 8 years, products of the primary sector, we tried to process them and export them, and we see that other countries buy them as raw materials and process them themselves and sell them. The harvest brings us near countryside. We try to collect the olives and then the oil, but we also need smart initiatives and policies. And this program highlighted such policies. There are actions that we could adopt as smart package, smart actions. We could export our olive oil ourselves and not seeing our olive oil to be exported as a raw material and non-processed and be processed by third countries. We lose money, economic profit. Our chamber and other chambers, we have an axis in the rural sector. We try to convince the government in order, finally, to connect the primary sector with the secondary and tertiary sector. We should generate an oil that will be in a good label with a nice trademark, and through internet, the producer could export the oil. We have such examples in our area. There are producers that they tend to follow such steps. We have a new digital era, and I believe that we should focus on the primary sector in order to generate a basis for our rural products. Thank you very much. I hope all the best.
We would now
Please,
like to welcome
Mrs. Kostadinidou, the president of the National Chamber of Commerce.
About all this?
Please,
yes, it is a union of chambers, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Kostadinidou Angeliki. As a member of the Chamber of Preveza.
Για τον νομό Πρέβεζας, το ΕΔΓΕ, όπου ανήκω, είναι το Εθνικό Επιμελητηριακό Δίκτυο Ελληνίδων Γυναικών Επιχειρηματιών Ελλάδος. Είμαστε υπό τη σκέπη των επιμελητηρίων και προσπαθούμε... Ευχαριστώ. Και μέσα από εκεί προσπαθούμε να στηρίξουμε γυναίκες επιχειρηματίες στο ξεκίνημά τους, που ήδη έχουν επιχειρήσεις, προκειμένου μέσω σεμιναρίων και οτιδήποτε άλλων εργασιών. Λοιπόν, νιώθω ιδιαίτερη χαρά που βρίσκομαι σήμερα εδώ ανάμεσά σας στις διεργασίες του Ευρωπαϊκού. Δεν εκλαμβάνω τη σημερινή εκδήλωση ως το τέλος ενός πραγματικά και με απτά αποτελέσματα επιτυχημένου έργου, αλλά την απαρχή διεργασίας που θα επιφέρει υπεραξία στην περιοχή μας. Ενστερίζομαι ότι η μεγαλύτερη επιτυχία του προγράμματος Authentic Olive Net, πέραν των απτών αποτελέσματων τα οποία θα αναλυθούν ενδελεχώς, είναι ότι μας αφήνει ως κληρονομιά το know-how και τους μηχανισμούς διασύνδεσης του πρωτογενούς και δευτερογενούς τομέα και τον τομέα των υπηρεσιών, αποφέροντας υπεραξία για τον τόπο μας. Εφ' εξής, εμείς καλούμαστε να διαχειριστούμε αυτούς τους πόρους, ο καθένας από το δικό του μετερίζει, με τρόπο που θα συμβάλλει στην περαιτέρω ενίσχυση των επιμέρους πτυχών και εμφάνσεων του έργου, αλλά και γιατί όχι στην ανάπτυξη νέων συνεργειών μεταξύ των τριών βασικών τομέων παραγωγής, δηλαδή τον πρωτογενή, δευτερογενή και τριτογενή τομέα ή τομέα υπηρεσιών, όπως αποκαλείται. Με την ευχή ότι το έργο Authentic Olive Net θα αποτελέσει παράδειγμα προς μίμηση για μελλοντικές συνεργασίες, συνεργατικές πρωτοβουλίες, χαιρετίζω τη σημερινή εκδήλωση και ευχαριστώ εκ βάθους καρδίας σε όσους συνέβαλαν στην ευόδοση αυτού του τόσο δύσκολου και πολύπλοκου εγχειρήματος. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ. Καλή συνέχεια.
Κοντά μας είναι ο Αντιπεριφερειάρχης Αχαΐας, ο κ. Μπονάνος. Τον παρακαλούμε για τον χαιρετισμό του.
The Deputy Regional Governor, Mr. Bonanos.
Καλημέρα και από μένα. Συγγνώμη για την αργοπορία. Υποχρεώσεις πολλές. Θέλω να πω ότι είμαι πολύ χαρούμενος που είμαι ανάμεσά σας, που βρίσκομαι ανάμεσά σας, σε μια δράση η οποία πραγματικά είναι μέσα στα πιστεύω μας και μέσα στην προτεραιότητά μας, διότι θεωρούμε ότι ο πρωτογενής τομέας έχει να παίξει σημαντικό ρόλο στην περιφέρειά μας και γι' αυτό πρέπει να υπάρξουν οι ανάλογες συνέργειες. Πόσο μάλλον όταν υπάρχει αυτό το πρόγραμμα το Ίντερεκ με την Ιταλία, όπου πραγματικά μπορεί να αναδείξει αυτό το χρυσάφι που έχουμε, αυτό το προϊόν στο οποίο υπάρχει πεδίο δόξης λαμπρό, να μπορέσουμε δηλαδή να το προωθήσουμε στις αγορές, να βοηθήσουμε τον τόπο μας, να βοηθήσουμε όλους εκείνους οι οποίοι ασχολούνται με την ελιά. Θέλω να σας μεταφέρω το χαιρετισμό του Περιφερειάρχη μας, του Νεκτάριου Φαρμάκη, με τον οποίο, αγαπητέ φίλε Δήμαρχε, μοιραζόμαστε, όπως ξέρεις, τις ίδιες ευαισθησίες και τις ίδιες αρχές. Προσπαθούμε να καλυτερεύσουμε τον τόπο μας, προσπαθούμε να βελτιώσουμε τις συνθήκες, αλλά πρέπει να σας τονίσω ότι είμαστε μια περιφερειακή αρχή άτυχη. Έχει από τους 28 μήνες που έχει, αγαπητέ φίλε Γιώργο, και τα ξέρεις επειδή ασχολείσαι με την τοπική αυτοδιοίκηση, από τους 29 μήνες περίπου, τους 23 τους έχουμε βγάλει, 24 μάλλον, με την πανδημία. Μεγάλο δυναμικό από την περιφέρειά μας, από το πνευματικό μας δυναμικό, από τους ανθρώπους μας. Ασχολούνται με αυτό το ζήτημα, προσπαθώντας να γλιτώσουμε ζωές, να προστατεύσουμε, να καθοδηγήσουμε. Ακριβώς πρέπει να το εφαρμόσουμε και καταλαβαίνετε τι σημαίνει για μας και να μεταφέρουμε πόρους προς αυτή την κατεύθυνση, προς τον υγειονομικό κίνδυνο, αλλά και να προσπαθήσουμε από την άλλη
to see how we can handle this and to see how we can provide a lot of work for our region. We have made available at least 30 million to be able to support
δουλειές εδώ στην περιοχή μας. Σημαντικό αυτό. Με την πανδημία. Έχουμε διαθέσει αρκετά λεφτά για να μπορέσουμε να ενισχύσουμε και το Εθνικό Σύστημα Υγείας. Τουλάχιστον 22 εκατομμύρια δώσαμε για τη μισθοδοσία του επικουρικού προσωπικού. Άρα καταλαβαίνετε τι σημαίνει από ένα φτωχό ΠΕΠ που έχουμε συγκεκριμένο να διαθέτουμε ένα μεγάλο τμήμα του για ζητήματα τα οποία αφορούν την άμυνά μας απέναντι σε αυτό τον εφιάλτη. Ελπίζω τα πράγματα από εδώ και πέρα να πάνε καλύτερα. Ήδη βρισκόμαστε σε μια φάση καλύτερη υγειονομική, συνεπώς να μπορέσουμε να ασχοληθούμε και με τα σημαντικά ζητήματα του τόπου, όπως είναι ο πρωτογενής τομέας. Εκείνο που θέλω να πω είναι ότι πάνω στο θέμα μας, και θα κλείσω εδώ πέρα, υπάρχουν σημαντικά περιθώρια αυξητικά και βελτίωσης, προς όφελος δηλαδή.
We have a lot of room for improvement for our agricultural producers.
Είμαστε στη δεύτερη ή τρίτη θέση Ιταλία, Ελλάδα και κοντά πλησιάζουμε την Ιταλία σε σχέση με την ελαιοπαραγωγική χώρα παγκοσμίως. Συνεπώς θα πρέπει να είμαστε προσεκτικοί στις αναδυόμενες χώρες όπως Μαρόκο, Τινησία, Τουρκία που έχουν χαμηλό κόστος παραγωγής. Άρα εδώ ακόμα περισσότερο χρειάζεται η συμβολή των ειδικών ώστε να έχουμε μια συγκεκριμένη τυποποίηση και να μπορέσουμε να κατακτήσουμε σημαντικές αγορές. Στόχος λοιπόν είναι η εισαγωγή ενός καινοτόμου και αποτελεσματικού τρόπου για την πιστοποίηση της αυθεντικότητας της υψηλής ποιότητας των τοπικών ποικιλιών ελιάς, έξυπνη προώθηση, θα έλεγα, των ανταγωνιστικών τους πλεονεκτημάτων στις αγορές του εσωτερικού και εξωτερικού. Αυτός είναι ο μεγάλος στόχος μας και σε αυτό το σημείο θα βοηθήσουμε. Θα κλείσω λέγοντας ότι είμαστε μια περιφερειακή αρχή η οποία...
A regional authority that is striving for the development of the area. So we will try to do the most as to be able to help. Thank you very much.
Well, let's start with the speakers from our partners. Please, we are waiting for the connection, for the electronic connection. Mr.
We are now going to connect over the phone with the old Phytopathological Institute in Patras, now Dimitra.
When Mr. Manosopoulos will be ready,
before you
please
start,
allow me,
you can see him
before
here.
you start, Mr.
I'd like to say a couple
Manosopoulos,
of things
allow me to say
to
a
be
couple
able
of
to
things in
give
order to give
an incentive to everyone to
speakers.
discuss
First of all,
things. Because we've often heard
in many
that
talks, we listen
the
that
primary sector
is
the greatest
pillar of the country.
Pillar for development of our country. And many times
just to say,
we say this, and the results over time,
in practice.
I have to say, given my experience over 30 years in the field, we haven't seen that we have results. The governments change, but the policies remain the same often.
Have remained
and perhaps the health crisis we're going to and the recent crisis with the war in Ukraine should readjust the policies that we have and our strategic planning as a country and as a region.
That we have as a country and as a region.
Do we want to have independence in in agricultural products? If so, we need to redefine our goals. Secondly, with the program that just finishes now, as Mrs. Kostadinidis said, it's a very difficult program, and it was greatly difficult for all those involved, and all those problems that we've seen in the past, but often we just overlook them. Something is not wrong right with the whole system of olive oil, and we need to admit this.
All admit this.
At Food Expo, the speaker, and yesterday Mr. Kadzar is here, showcased this problem.
We highlighted that something is
as
wrong
regards
from
both
the system of
the consumers and the creation, the production.
The final consumer.
I want to make some things clear.
This program is not only to authenticate the certification, but to give the possibility to what we want to do as a national product, but we should support this product.
If we don't do this,
is wrong, we should do it in the right way. This program highlighted these problems. Thank you for the talk that you allow me to proceed in. Mr. Manosopoulos, are you ready?
Yes, good morning from me as well. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Everything is right? Okay. I'm going to present the results from this project. We have used innovative techniques for predicting olive cultivars' identity by using artificial intelligence, machine learning, in fact, based on olive oil ingredients. I'm going to present this work that was done during 3 years of action. Okay, I'm going here to present the outline of the presentation. We start with the samples and the creation of the data set information. Then we'll go to the statistical analysis that we did. This concerns correlation, box plots, and principal component analysis. And then we'll go to the machine learning that is the innovative approach that we used in this project. And I close with the conclusions of the results.
Κύριε Μαρουσόπουλε, συγγνώμη που σας διακόπτω, αλλά επειδή γίνεται, αν κατάλαβα καλά, μετάφραση από τα ελληνικά στα αγγλικά, ή μάλλον εσείς μιλάτε αυτόματα στα αγγλικά και μιλάτε στα αγγλικά.
Μιλάω αγγλικά, ναι.
Μήπως μπορούμε να το κάνουμε να μιλήσει μόνο στα ελληνικά.
Να μεταφράσουμε για τους εταίρους μας στα αγγλικά.
Να μιλήσετε, κύριε.
Έχω προετοιμάσει τα αγγλικά την ελληνική, αλλά τέλος πάντων, να το πω, να μιλάω ελληνικά δηλαδή.
Κύριε Μανουσόπουλε, το PowerPoint...
Δεν σας ακούω. Δεν σας ακούω. Δεν σας ακούω καθόλου, συγγνώμη.
Αν έχετε την καλοσύνη, επικοινωνήστε μαζί του για να το κάνει. Ευχαριστώ.
Πείτε μου τι πρέπει να κάνω.
Λοιπόν, για να μην καθυστερούμε τώρα, μέχρι να συντονιστούμε με τον κύριο Μανουσόπουλο.
Γιάννη, κάνε κλικ στο ελληνικό κανάλι επάνω εκεί που έχεις τη σύνδεση. Και μιλάς στα ελληνικά, η παρουσίαση ας είναι στα αγγλικά, δεν υπάρχει κανένα πρόβλημα. Όλοι οι παρουσιάσεις έχουν στα αγγλικά και η μετάφρασή σου θα γίνεται αυτόματα από τους μεταφραστές εδώ και οι εταίροι μας θα ακούνε στα αγγλικά στην Ιταλία. Δεν υπάρχει κανένα πρόβλημα. Αλλά απλά θα τα λες, η παρουσίαση ας είναι στα αγγλικά, θα τα λες εσύ στα ελληνικά. Έτσι κι αλλιώς τα ξέρεις, το ίδιο πράγμα είναι.
Ναι, δεν βλέπω όμως που είναι το τέτοιο. Τώρα μπορώ να μιλήσω. Ωραία. Ναι. Ωραία. Λοιπόν, να το πούμε στα ελληνικά, λοιπόν, αν και έχω φτιάξει την παρουσίαση στα αγγλικά. Εδώ είναι το outline της παρουσίασης. Θα ξεκινήσουμε με τα δείγματα και το dataset που φτιάξαμε. Θα προχωρήσουμε με την στατιστική ανάλυση που έχει τις σχετίσεις, box plots και ανάλυση κυρίων αξώνων. Θα προχωρήσουμε μετά με το machine learning, την εκμάθηση και το οποίο θα δείξουμε τις παραμέτρους του μοντέλου που χρησιμοποιήσαμε και επίσης μέθοδο που κάναμε, μάλλον το γεγονός ότι βρήκαμε ποικιλίες ελιάς μόνο και μόνο από το λάδι, το οποίο ήταν αγνώστου ταυτότητες, και θα κλείσουμε με το συμπεράσμα.
From an oil that we didn't know its origin.
Αρχίζουμε λοιπόν με τα δείγματα και με το dataset, δεν μπορώ να το πω διαφορετικά, πώς το φτιάξαμε. Είχαμε 3 χρόνων αποτελέσματα. Είχαμε 5 ποικιλίες ελιάς από 2 χώρες και τα δείγματα που μαζέψαμε από διάφορες περιοχές της Ιταλίας και της Ελλάδας, των 5 ποικιλιών, πήγαν στο εργαστήριο της Καλαμάτας, όπου έγινε ανάλυση από τα βασικά συστατικά του ελαιολάδου και με αυτόν τον τρόπο φτιάξαμε πήραμε τα δεδομένα μας, φτιάξαμε το data. Εδώ δείχνω το σύνολο των δεδομένων. Έχουμε λοιπόν συνολικά 34 μεταβλητές που βρήκαμε, δηλαδή 34 συστατικά του λαδιού. Το σύνολο των μεταβλητών που χρησιμοποιήσαμε για την εκμάθηση του μοντέλου μας ήταν 27 Όπως είπαμε, είχαμε 5 θητείες. Ο συνολικός αριθμός των δειγμάτων ήταν 405. Ήταν 224 δείγματα το πρώτο χρόνο, 161 το δεύτερο και τον τρίτο χρόνο είχαμε μόνο 20 δείγματα από την Ελλάδα μόνο. Να πω εδώ που είναι πολύ σημαντικό ότι για την εκμάθηση της μηχανής και της βιώσης χρησιμοποίησαμε ένα τυχαίο δείγμα από τα δεδομένα των δύο πρώτων χρόνων.
20, the third year from Greece.
Μπαίνουμε λίγο στη στατιστική ανάλυση, πολύ σύντομα θα δείξω. Είναι πολύ σημαντικό να δούμε σχετίσεις μεταξύ των μεταβλητών που χρησιμοποιούμε. Εδώ δείχνω αυτό που λέμε πίνακα συσχέτισης, να το πω έτσι. Εδώ λοιπόν έχουμε οι κύκλοι, οι κουκκίδες εκεί δείχνουν το πόσο σημαντική, το πόσο δυνατή είναι η συσχέτιση, ενώ το χρώμα δείχνει τον τύπο της συσχέτισης, αν είναι δηλαδή, αν υπάρχει θετική ή αρνητική συσχέτιση. Πολύ σύντομα εδώ να δείξουμε τα λεγόμενα box plots, τα ελληνικά είναι κοιτία ή κάπως έτσι. Είναι box plot ανάλυσης που μας δείχνει τις σχέσεις μεταξύ των μεταβλητών. Εδώ βλέπουμε λοιπόν με το κόκκινο είναι οι ελληνικές ποικιλίες, οι δύο, η Κοροναϊκή και η Λιανόλια, και με το πράσινο είναι οι ιταλικές ποικιλίες. Αυτό που βλέπουμε εδώ είναι ότι υπάρχουν διαφορές μεταξύ των ελληνικών ορισμένων συστατικών των ελληνικών ποικιλιών, όπως φαίνεται εδώ σε αυτό το κύκλο, και σε αυτόν διαφορές από τις ιταλικές, αλλά υπάρχουν και ομοιότητες όπως είναι τα υπόλοιπα. Αυτά εδώ τα 10, η ανάλυση των 10 γραφημάτων αφορά στα λιπαρά οξέα. Και εδώ έχουμε τις στερόλες, έχουμε μία ίδια κατάσταση. Των συστατικών. Αυτά εδώ τα αποτελέσματα λοιπόν μας δίνουν δεδομένα, δηλαδή η ποικιλομορφία που υπάρχει εδώ μας δίνει τη δυνατότητα να πούμε ότι μπορούν να χρησιμοποιηθούν αυτά τα δεδομένα για εκμάθηση. Προχωράμε στο τελευταίο κομμάτι της στατιστικής ανάλυσης, που είναι η ανάλυση, principal component ανάλυσης ιδίων αξώνων, όπως λέγεται. Να πω εδώ, για όσους δεν είναι γνωστοί δεν γνωρίζουν αυτές τις τεχνικές, πολύ σύντομα αυτό μας δίνει είναι μια γραμμικός μετασχηματισμός, ο οποίος μας δίνει τη δυνατότητα να δούμε τα δεδομένα μας από την οπτική γωνία της μεγαλύτερης παραλλακτικότητας. Να το πω πολύ απλά, να μην μιλήσουμε περισσότερο τεχνικά. Εδώ λοιπόν βλέπουμε τους κύριους άξονες, όπου οι δύο πρώτοι εξηγούν το 40% της παραλλακτικότητας. Αυτό είναι ένα μικρό ποσοστό. Το 40% της παραλλακτικότητας, με άλλα λόγια, μπορούμε να το εξηγήσουμε τις διαφορές στα δείγματά μας. Και μπορεί να χρησιμοποιηθούν αυτά τα δεδομένα για εκμάθηση μηχανής. Και να δούμε λίγο. Εδώ είναι η ανάλυση κυρίων αξώνων. Έχουμε πάρει τους δύο πρώτους κύριους άξονες, που είναι σημαντικό αυτό να το δούμε. Τι βλέπουμε εδώ? Βλέπουμε ότι το 40% σχεδόν της παραλλακτικότητας, το οποίο εκπροσωπείται από τους δύο κάθετους άξονες, με τις διακεκομένες γραμμές, φαίνεται ότι αριστερά ξεχωρίζουν οι ελληνικές ποικιλίες που είναι στα αριστερά από τις ιταλικές ποικιλίες που είναι στα δεξιά. Αυτό φαίνεται καθαρά. Ο πρώτος άξονας λοιπόν μας διαχωρίζει αυτές τις ποικιλίες, τις ελληνικές από τις ιταλικές, ενώ ο δεύτερος άξονας, που είναι από πάνω προς τα κάτω, ξεχωρίζει πολύ καλά τις ελληνικές ποικιλίες, το κορονέικι δηλαδή και τη λιανολιά, ενώ βλέπουμε ότι οι ιταλικές ποικιλίες αλληλοκαλύπτονται. Ίσως εδώ χρειαζόμαστε ένα μεγαλύτερο δείγμα ή το άλλο είναι ότι οι ποικιλίες πιθανότατα έχουν ένα πολύ κοντινό κοινό πρόγονο. Αυτό το λέω με επιφύλαξη. Αυτό λοιπόν είναι η ανάλυση του πρώτου έτους. Βλέπουμε επίσης ότι ορισμένες από τις μεταβλητές συσχετίζονται με κάποιες από τις ποικιλίες, όπως τα λιπαρά οξέα 21, 22-0. Αυτά τα διανύσματα, τα εμβέλη, σχετίζονται με τις ελληνικές ποικιλίες, ενώ το C17, για παράδειγμα, σχετίζεται με τις ιταλικές ποικιλίες. Αυτό συμβαίνει και για κάποιες άλλες μεταβλητές. Αυτές λοιπόν ακριβώς οι διαφοροποιήσεις είναι πολύ χρήσιμες για την εκβάθυνση των μοντέλων. Ένα μοντέλο δηλαδή θα καταλάβει και από αυτές τις μεταβλητές για τι πράγμα πρόκειται. Εδώ είναι του δεύτερου χρόνου τα αποτελέσματα. Βλέπουμε πάλι την αλληλοκάλυψη των ιταλικών ποικιλιών και τον διαχωρισμό των ελληνικών ποικιλιών. Αυτό, όπως είπαμε, είναι πολύ χρήσιμο για το machine learning, για την μάθηση μηχανής. Και εδώ πολύ σύντομα μπαίνω στο κομμάτι της μάθησης μηχανής, αυτής της πρωτότυπης μεθόδου που χρησιμοποιήσαμε. Στην ουσία, αυτό που λέμε τεχνητή νοημοσύνη έχει πολλές δυνατότητες. Μία από τις δυνατότητες είναι τα νευρονικά δίκτυα και δείχνω εδώ ένα πολύ απλό παράδειγμα, και η άλλη δυνατότητα είναι αυτό που λέμε δέντρα ταξινόμησης, classification trees, ή δάση ταξινόμησης, έτσι λέγονται. Σε κάθε περίπτωση, εδώ το αναφέρω αυτό επιγραμματικά, έχουμε δηλαδή στις δύο αυτές μεθόδους προσπαθούμε, δίνοντας δεδομένα από τη μία πλευρά να βρούμε μία άγνωστη συνάρτηση, η οποία εκπροσωπείται από αυτό που λέμε hidden layers, να το πω έτσι, και μας δίνει το output, είναι μια πιθανότητα που μας δίνει αυτή η άγνωστη συνάρτηση, την οποία προσεγγίζουμε δίνοντας δεδομένα στο μοντέλο μας. Δεν θα πω τίποτα περισσότερο γι' αυτό, επιγραμματικά το λέω μόνο. Αυτό που θέλω να πω είναι ότι εμείς, στη δική μας δουλειά, τέριαζε καλύτερα η μεθοδολογία των δέντρων ταξινόμησης, την οποία και χρησιμοποιήσαμε. Και εδώ περνάω όποια μέθοδο και να χρησιμοποιήσουμε, πάντως έχουμε το ίδιο ακριβώς πρωτόκολλο, το οποίο είναι αυτό το οποίο χρησιμοποιήσαμε και εμείς. Δηλαδή, τι κάνουμε? Κάνουμε μία τυχεοποίηση στο αρχικό μας dataset, το οποίο έχουμε, και το χωρίζουμε σε δύο κομμάτια. Το 70% είναι αυτό το οποίο θα χρησιμοποιήσουμε για την εκμάθηση της μηχανής, και το 30% είναι αυτό το οποίο θα χρησιμοποιήσουμε για να κάνουμε αυτό που λέμε evaluation στο μοντέλο μας, να δούμε την ικανότητα, το πόσο καλά συμπεριφέρεται το μοντέλο. Το πρώτο βέβαια, το 70%. Και τώρα, για να μην σας κουράζω κιόλας, θα σας δείξω τα αποτελέσματα αυτής της εκμάθησης, τα αποτελέσματα του μοντέλου μας. Πριν όμως κάνω αυτό, θα ήθελα πολύ επιγραμματικά να πω δύο πράγματα τεχνικά, για να γίνει κατανοητό αυτό το οποίο λέμε. Σε κάθε μοντέλο, σε κάθε δοκιμή που γίνεται, έχουμε 4 αποτελέσματα, τα οποία εκπροσωπούνται από αυτό που λέμε sensitivity, δηλαδή ευαισθησία, και η ικανότητα του μοντέλου μας να δείχνει τα αληθινά δείγματα ως αληθινά. Εξειδίκευση, specificity, είναι η ικανότητα του μοντέλου μας να δείχνει τα αρνητικά δείγματα ως αρνητικά. Και έχουμε δύο περιπτώσεις λαθών που πάντα συνοδεύουν αυτά τα μοντέλα. Έχουμε τα false positive, συγγνώμη για τα αγγλικά, τα ψευδή θετικά μάλλον, τα οποία το μοντέλο βλέπει τα αληθινά δείγματα ως αρνητικά και τα false negatives, όπου το μοντέλο μας βλέπει τα θετικά δείγματα ως αρνητικά. Αυτό που θέλουμε πάντα εμείς είναι να έχουμε όσο το δυνατόν μεγαλύτερη ευαισθησία και εξειδίκευση και όσο λιγότερες τιμές στα λάθη. Όταν εκπαιδεύουμε λοιπόν το μοντέλο μας, παίρνουμε πάντοτε αυτές τις τιμές κατά τη διάρκεια της εκπαίδευσης και εδώ στους δύο αυτούς πίνακες δείχνω αυτές τις τιμές στο κόκκινο τετράγωνο επάνω. Ο πρώτος πίνακας λοιπόν μας δείχνει την εκτίμηση που έχει κάνει το μοντέλο χρησιμοποιώντας τον πίνακα εκμάθησης, δηλαδή τα δεδομένα της εκμάθησης, το 70%. Βλέπουμε μία άριστη σχεδόν ταυτοποίηση, δυνατότητα αναγνώρισης της κοροναϊκής και της λανολιάς. Όπως βλέπετε έχουμε ευαισθησία 0,97 και 0,97, μπορώ να το κάνω με αυτό, φαίνεται εδώ, 0,97 και 1 και 0,99, ενώ στις ιταλικές έχουμε λίγο χαμηλότερες τιμές και βέβαια στη Φαβολόζα έχουμε 0,47. Η Φαβολόζα, αυτό οφείλεται στο γεγονός ότι είχαμε πάρα πολύ μικρό αριθμό δειγμάτων. Σε γενικές γραμμές όμως έχουμε πολύ ικανοποιητικά αποτελέσματα. Όταν λοιπόν εξετάσαμε αυτό με το 30% των δειγμάτων τα οποία δεν χρησιμοποιήθηκαν στην εκπαίδευση, βλέπετε ότι οι τιμές έχουν γίνει πάρα πολύ καλύτερες. Βέβαια, οι ελληνικές ποικιλίες είναι κοντά στο 1, έχουν άριστη δυνατότητα αναγνώρισης και οι ιταλικές ποικιλίες πηγαίνουν πάρα πολύ καλά. Αυτό το πράγμα δείχνει ότι εάν συνεχίσουμε την έρευνά μας, μπορούμε αυτά να τα αριστοποιήσουμε. Τι κάναμε λοιπόν? Φτιάξαμε λοιπόν αυτό το μοντέλο και αφού φτιάξαμε αυτό το μοντέλο, για να δούμε τώρα πώς δουλεύουμε τα δείγματά μας, ζητήσαμε από την Καλαμάτα να μας στείλει 20 περίπου, να μας στείλει μάλλον δύο δείγματα, μάλλον αριθμούς δειγμάτων, δύο αριθμούς δειγμάτων, να το πω έτσι, τους οποίους εμείς δεν γνωρίζαμε ποιοι είναι και θα τους βρίσκαμε μέσω του μοντέλου. Δεν ξέρω αν το είπα καλά αυτό, αλλά θα το εξηγήσω λίγο καλύτερα τώρα. Λοιπόν, τι βλέπουμε? Μας έστειλαν λοιπόν οι συνάδελφοι από την Καλαμάτα 20 δείγματα από το dataset το οποίο ήταν των 2 πρώτων χρόνων. Εγώ δεν ήξερα ποιες ποικιλίες είναι, μου έστειλε μόνο τα συστατικά του λαδιού. Βάζοντας λοιπόν το εκπαιδευμένο μοντέλο, βρήκε και τις 19 ποικιλίες, 19, δηλαδή είχε 100% δυνατότητα εκτίμησης της ποικιλίας μόνο από τα συστατικά του λαδιού. Και ένα δεύτερο δείγμα που μας έστειλε, το οποίο βέβαια ήταν, το δείγμα αυτό αφορούσε σε όλες τις 3 χρονιές. Βλέπετε εδώ πρώτη, δεύτερη και τρίτη χρονιά. Το μοντέλο αναγνώρισε 16 από τις 17 και ικανότητα 94%. Ήθελα να υπενθυμίσω εδώ ότι αυτό το αναγνωρίζουμε μόνο από τις ποικιλίες, μόνο από τα συστατικά του λαδιού. Λοιπόν, πέρδεψε μόνο την περανζάνα, την ποικιλία, ένα δείγμα την έκανε κορατίνα. Μάλλον εδώ, ναι. Την έκανε κορατίνα.
Περαντζάνα.
Αυτό δεν είναι κάτι. Είναι τα λάθη που λέγαμε, αλλά αυτά τα λάθη προσπαθούν πάντοτε να τα βελτιώσουν. Τώρα,
is the failure, and we try to improve such failures.
Προσπαθήσαμε να βρούμε
By
εάν
using
μπορεί να
such model, we try
αναγνωρίσει
to find
τις ποικιλίες της τρίτης χρονιάς, που ήταν
the
μόνο οι
recognition of the varieties of the third country.
Θυμίζω ότι οι ποικιλίες αυτές
I would
δεν
like to remind you
χρησιμοποιήθηκαν
that such varieties
για την εκμάθηση της μηχανής. Ήταν τελείως
weren't
ανεξάρτητες.
used for the training.
Το μοντέλο αναγνώρισε 20
The
στις
recognition
20
model recognized
20
20
στα
out
20
of
δείγματα της ποικιλίας
20
κοροναϊκή και
samples
7 στα 8
of
δείγματα
the
της
Corneti
ποικιλίας
variety
Λιανολιά.
and
Δηλαδή, είχε
7
μία
out of
άριστη,
8 samples of the Llanolya
πώς να το πούμε,
variety.
είχε μία
It
άριστη
had
προβλεψιμότητα,
a
η οποία
perfect
πραγματικά μας
prediction
χαροποίησε γιατί όντως
that
είναι,
made us
θεωρούμε ότι
very
αυτό
glad
είναι ένα πάρα πολύ καλό
because
αποτέλεσμα.
this is a very
Αυτά ήταν τα
significant result.
αποτελέσματά μας και θα ήθελα να κλείσω την ομιλία με τα
I would like to
συμπεράσματα.
conclude
Βλέπουμε
by
λοιπόν ότι η τεχνητή νοημοσύνη θεωρούμε με
artificial
βάση αυτά τα
intelligence,
δεδομένα, τα οποία
based on
νομίζω
such
εμφανίζονται
data,
για πρώτη φορά στη χώρα μας.
which are used for the first time in our
Αυτή
country.
λοιπόν είναι μια πάρα πολύ πολλά υποσχόμενη προσέγγιση για να κάνουμε την αυθεντικοποίηση στα έλαια, στο ελαιόλαδο. Νομίζω ότι και επειδή είναι και εδώ και εκπρόσωποι της περιφέρειας, θα παρακαλούσα να δώσουν ιδιαίτερη έμφαση σε αυτή την προσέγγιση, διότι πραγματικά είναι μια μεθοδολογία η οποία μπορεί να μας δώσει πάρα πολύ καλά αποτελέσματα, όχι μόνο για το λάδι, αλλά και για άλλα πράγματα που θα δούμε παρακάτω. Και επίσης, φυσικά όλα αυτά γίνονται με περισσότερη δουλειά. Είπαμε ότι χρειαζόμαστε περισσότερα δείγματα, χρειαζόμαστε περισσότερες ποικιλίες πιθανών. Οι προοπτικές αυτής της εργασίας είναι αυτό που είπα, ότι μπορούμε να εντάξουμε περισσότερες ποικιλίες μέσα στο μοντέλο μας και να το κάνουμε πιο ευέλικτο και πιο ευρείας αποδοχής, να το πω έτσι. Και επίσης είναι ξεκάθαρο ότι η τεχνητή νοημοσύνη μπορεί να χρησιμοποιηθεί για να δούμε αυτό που λέμε adulteration, την οθεία σε διάφορα τρόφιμα, όπως είναι το ελαιόλαδο και εκτός από το ελαιόλαδο βέβαια, στο μέλι, σε άλλα προϊόντα όπως το μέλι, το γάλα, το τυρί, που η φέτα είναι στο προσκήνιο αυτά τα τελευταία χρόνια και βέβαια μπορούν να χρησιμοποιηθούν εκεί με την προϋπόθεση ότι θα υπάρχουν οι κατάλληλες μεταβλητές για εκπαίδευση μοντέλου. Αυτή ήταν η παρουσίασή μου. Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ για την προσοχή σας.
I would like to thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Manouchopoulos. Before proceeding to Mrs. Sileli, Mr. Katsalis would like to intervene. I understand that most of you are not familiar with technical details as such that Mr. Manouchopoulos brought forward. I'll try to explain you how important this model is, what it does with very simple words. In essence, we took some samples that we knew what they are. We put it an artificial intelligence system. This system learned these samples, and after we gave to this system unknown samples, and this system of artificial intelligence with great sensitivity recognized even 100% in most of times the varieties of the unknown olives. This is the great positive result of the whole attempt of these 3 years, and has to do especially with Korneki, as you saw, with the number of samples. Korneki variety has the greatest number of samples. In the region of Western Greece and the region of Preveza, if we had even more samples of the varieties, we could reach very clearly 100% of success. Ms. Sileli, please proceed to the podium. Good morning. I'm very glad to be in this meeting. I'm an external partner of the Chamber of Preveza, and now I'm going to present you the description, the general description of the project and the results of the project. As Mrs. Karatsoulou said already, the corporate status of the project has 3 partners. The principal partner was the Preveza Chamber. We had a research authority, other sectors representing the agricultural sector, and we also had ASO Proli Bari, which is one of the agricultural cooperative, one of the biggest of Italy, with more than 25,000 of members, who have this common cross-border collaboration between Greece and Italy. This area has specific data. We had many researchers which brought forward the same negative or positive aspects. And that's why we need common initiatives and common solutions to our common problems, which are the positive challenges of this area. The former speakers referred to them. The sector of olive oil is very powerful. The products in both areas, they are of high quality, and they have a PDI, protected designation of origin status. There is a great interest worldwide for the authentication of olive products. There is an inadequate evaluation of the capitalization of olive oil, especially in Greece. The existing certification processes do not put forward the authenticity of olive oil. There is a lack of collaboration of SMEs with research institutes, and a very characteristic thing is that there is a very low level of competitiveness between SMEs, something that we try to improve with our results. In this way, this project came forward. We wanted to introduce an innovative and effective way for the authentication of the high quality of local varieties of olives, and after to promote them to external markets. The main objective of projects is to generate a network of innovation in olive oil products between chambers, institutes, SMEs, in order to be able to introduce new prospects of promotion. We need to have a pilot application of common directives for the certification of and authentication of olive oil, the evaluation of innovative tools. The groups are research community, regional authorities, SMEs of olive oil sector, new agriculturals and producers of olive oil. As Mrs. Karasoulou said, our project began 2 years ago, and it is included in 2 weeks. The results of the project have been concluded, and this is why we have this presentation today. We have the criteria for the procedures of certification of and authentication of local varieties of extra virgin oils. We have a common basket of authentic olive oils, selected varieties of local olives. In this basket, there are olive oils from Italy and Greece, which belong to 5 varieties: Κορνέκη, Λιανολιά, Κοραντίνα, Περαντζάνα, Θαβολόζα. We had 4 seminars of training from Asoproli and from the Elgo Dimitra. We have a platform, a smart platform, promotion platform for the promotion of the basket of authentic olive oils. In this platform, I register all the producers. We also have another platform, the networking platform, for the promotion of collaboration between members of the network. All such results will be analyzed nextly. Most of such results will continue after the completion of the project, and what we really hope is that the series of the criteria of authentication not to be just in the pilot phase, but to be the start for national criteria of authentication. For more details, you could visit our site. Thank you very much.
Θα συνεχίσουμε τώρα με τον κύριο Κάτσαρη, είναι γεωπόνος βιοτεχνολόγος του ΕΛΓΟ Δήμητρα. Είναι ειδικό επιστημονικό προσωπικό ο κύριος Κάτσαρης στο τμήμα ελέας και οπωροκυπευτικών στην Καλαμάτα. Θα παρουσιάσει 2 θέματα, έτσι Παναγιώτη. Θα παρουσιάσει νομίζω και το θέμα του κόσμου του ελαιολάδου παγκόσμια, προκλήσεις και προοπτικές, και τα εργαλεία πιστοποίησης αυθεντικότητας. Έτσι. Ναι. Okay.
Να τα φάω και τα 2 μαζί από τώρα.
Να το δούμε στη σειρά, γιατί περιμένουν μετά το πρώτο σου θέμα οι Ιταλοί.
Καλημέρα σας. Κάποιους γνωριζόμαστε ήδη από χτες, από τη χθεσινή ημερίδα. Θα είναι λίγο βαρετά για αυτούς να ξανακούσουν κάποια πράγματα. Θα προσπαθήσω να είμαι σχετικά σύντομος, γιατί έχουμε να πούμε και πολλά άλλα σήμερα. Ευχαριστώ πολύ για την πρόσκληση τους φίλους και συνεργάτες εδώ από την Περιφέρεια Δυτικής Ελλάδος. Θα ήθελα να ευχαριστήσω και όλους τους συνεργάτες μας αυτά τα 3 χρόνια, τους φίλους μας πλέον μετά από 3 χρόνια στην Ιταλία και συνεργάτες από το Ασοπρόλη και από το επιμελητήριο της Φότζια και το επιμελητήριο εδώ της Πρέβεζας, τους φίλους και συνεργάτες και φυσικά την Ειρήνη και τον Βασίλη που ήταν βασικοί στυλοβάτες, και τελευταίους φυσικά αφήνω τους φίλους εδώ και οι οικοδεσπότες μας της Περιφέρειας Δυτικής Ελλάδας και τη Δέσποινα την Καρασούλου, τη Βικεντία που δεν την ξεχνάμε ποτέ. Είναι συγκινητικό όταν κλείνει ένα πρόγραμμα που φτάνει στο τέλος και με αίσιο τρόπο. Συγχωρήστε με, αλλά δεν το πιστεύαμε ότι θα φτάσει τόσο καλά στο τέλος αυτό το πρόγραμμα, με τόσο καλά αποτελέσματα. Ούτε και εμείς που ήμασταν πολύ αισιόδοξοι και τα είχαμε δει και είμαστε μέσα στον χώρο του ελαιολάδου, και φυσικά μας χαροποιεί ιδιαίτερα και η παρουσία σας εδώ, που θέλετε να μάθετε κάποια πράγματα που θα βοηθήσουν τον ελαιοκομικό κλάδο και θα μας πάνε λίγο παραπέρα. Θα κάνω σχετικά γρήγορα αυτή την παρουσίαση για τον κόσμο του ελαιολάδου, γιατί η ουσία είναι στο τέλος. Είμαστε στην Καλαμάτα, στο Ινστιτούτο πρώην Ελέας και Προκυπηθέων Καλαμάτας και νυν τμήμα, δυστυχώς υποβαθμισμένο αρκετά, αλλά έχουμε το ένα από τα τρία πιο σύγχρονα εργαστήρια πιστοποίησης ποιότητας ελαιολάδου στη χώρα, ένα στην Καλαμάτα, ένα στη Μυτιλίνη και στα Χανιά του Ελγό Δήμητρα. Μπορούμε να κάνουμε όλες τις αναλύσεις που αφορούν το ελαιόλαδο και αυτό ήταν το βασικό μας κίνητρο για να μπούμε και να βοηθήσουμε και σε αυτό το πρόγραμμα να βγάλουμε θετικά αποτελέσματα.
And this was our main effort for producing good results because olive oil culture is expanded in a lot of areas of the planet. In Latin America, China, Australia, New Zealand, to many areas where, in theory, they could be competitors in the creation of olive oil. But it's not exactly like this, and we'll see why. Here we see the main areas where olives are cultivated in Greece, in the Mediterranean, of course, Greece, Italy, Spain, North Africa, and Turkey. We also have some areas in Mesopotamia. These are a bit further to the right, but they're not of economic significance. In Latin America and North America, there are some dynamic efforts with millions of olive oil trees being planted. But in theory and in practice, we're not really concerned about that because they're mainly importing countries. We'll see the data of the Global Olive Oil Organization on this. And they have a very low consumption per capita of olive oil. So it's not going to increase the demand as import countries and not as export countries that could compete with us. About the same applies for countries such as Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand. And China. China has proceeded to a large-scale program for the planting of lots of millions of olive trees, but unfortunately for them, they have selected an area in the Sichuan region marked here, where there are extreme weather conditions. It's in the temperate climate, okay, because we're in a temperate climate, although it doesn't look so these days. So it's in a temperate climate there, but they have rather extreme weather conditions in these areas, which means that they do not have the opportunity to create large quantities of olive oil. And of course, they've got a huge population. It's one of the main olive oil importers with a dynamic increase in the imports of olive oil. The same happens with Japan. Japan has focused a lot on quality recently. We don't have much time to analyze this, but a large percentage of olive oil sales is online. And this, those of you who work with the olive cultivation oil, the platform that we've created in this program could help a lot to find networking with this huge virgin market. They only have very few olive trees there and they don't really cover global domestic demand. So the Japanese are looking for high quality olive oil. Here we see global production, which is increasing. And of course, globally and in the European Union obviously has the lion's share with over 64% of global production. But we see that some countries, and the your deputy regional governor said this very, very accurately. These are emerging countries, Morocco, Tunisia, and Turkey, and some other countries to a lesser extent. And these have a great share of the global production. And they are on an upwards trend. In the European Union, Spain has the lion's share, Greece and Italy lag behind, and of course there's Portugal for 6%, and some other countries with just 1%. Now, Spain is the global leader, we know this. in a good year, it might reach 2 million tons of olive oil and even more now. It holds about 40% of global production compared to the rest of the world, which stands at 61%. Here we see the global exports of olive oil. Obviously, the largest ones come from the EU because the main countries exporting olive oil are Spain and Italy. Unfortunately, not Greece, because Greece has only 2% of global olive oil exports, although Spain has 56% because it has greater production, and Italy 32% because Italy also, for the same reasons as Irene said, why it cannot compete countries with a low production cost such as Morocco, Turkey, Algeria, and Spain, which has proceeded to many millions of olive trees planted with mechanical harvesting, which brings production costs down. So we need to focus somewhere else. And apart from focusing somewhere else, so on quality, we also need to see how we can increase our really small market share. Here we see the global imports of olive oil. It's a dynamic market. Was Russia? We don't know what's going to happen now. 2% is a significant part. If we take into account that about a few years ago, Russia accounted for 0.2%. It's a very dynamic market, but we'll see now what will happen. We cannot forecast what will happen. Another important program is the EU itself. The EU does not only have the southern countries, but also the northern countries. So we have 14% imports from northern European countries. It's a dynamic market that lags behind, though. There are a lot of problems there. And our country could also help if it believes that olive oil is a national product. And if the EU believes that it's a healthy product that has many health benefits, it should see how to increase the demand for imports in northern European countries that are also very financially viable. We also see that other emerging countries, Saudi Arabia, Japan, which is focusing on quality and buying online, Canada, Brazil, and more. Of course, the largest player is the USA. We should focus on another issue there. We should focus on training the consumer public as regards quality, because all the studies conducted there show that for many years where they were just eating rubbish from multinational companies, when 60%, when they try olive oil and they prefer the poorer quality olive oils as better because they have been used to poor quality olive oil from large multinational companies, and they believe that it's actually better. Now, global consumption is increasing gradually with small variations, and it's following the same trend with the global production of olive oil. So there's no real issue as regards the supply and demand for the product. So we don't have an issue with olive oil left unsold. Global consumption obviously is mainly consumed in the EU because this is where it's produced and where it's mainly consumed. And of course, we have all the other importing countries that we saw later on, beforehand, sorry. Positive characteristic here is that the same countries that produce olive oil consume large quantities, and this is good because this offers many health benefits, and we wouldn't have these Yesterday, there was a colleague, I can't see him today, but he said that despite the fact that in Greece we have huge obesity issues, a large percentage of obesity, and we don't have a corresponding upwards trend in cardiovascular diseases because and cancer, and this is greatly connected to the consumption of olive oil, which has tremendous health benefits. Most of you know about these, and we'll see some of these based on our analysis. And another positive factor here, the only one, unfortunately, is that Greece has the greatest global consumption per person per year, almost 14 kilos, which of course has to do mainly with with southern and western Greece, but of course in northern Greece, we do have room for improvement because they don't use olive oil so much, but other fats. Now, in conclusion, I tried to be as brief as possible. Here we see the bullet points concerning the issue. Production and consumption is rising globally. Spain is the main player in the global market. In the production of olive oil, it has the lion's share. Greece comes third, but this year it wasn't third, unfortunately. We have been surpassed by Morocco and maybe even by Turkey. We will fall to fifth production position globally. We have the great advantage that we have a high quality product, and we'll see why in the next slide, and we'll see its characteristics. But all these emerging markets and Spain as well have a very low production cost. So we are called to manage three main issues. How will we increase the per capita consumption of olive oil in our country? How we will manage to take this per capita consumption to train people in other countries and in the EU to increase this by highlighting the great health benefits of our product, our very high quality product from various olive varieties, each one with its own benefits, and these should be highlighted. And the main thing is, I believe, because olive oil is a basic fat and it's not a product that is addressed to the few, we need to find a way to increase our market share, shall we say. But in essence, to find a way to increase the percentage of the population that can consume extra virgin olive oil. And in this, we need to keep in mind that the pricing strategy plays a significant role. So we should keep in mind that in years where there's a shortcoming in the product, we should not try to maximize our profit by increasing prices too high so that it cannot be consumed by many, because this can have a negative effect that might turn to other forms of fat, and we might lose the share market of the market that we're after. So these are the basic challenges in relation to olive oil and the global situation today. Our main issue as a country is that we have a very small percentage, 2% only, of exports on a global scale for standardized olive oil. We mainly sell in bulk. This percentage is very small, so it has a lot of room for improvement. But we need to follow the right policies to manage this. Thank you very much for your attention to my first presentation. I'll have another one. Thank you very much. Now we are going to be connected with Mr. Erasmo Di Giorgio from Italy.
Yes.
The representative of the Agricultural Association of Bari.
Hello.
We're a bit behind schedule, but now we're ready.
Hello, everyone. Good morning to the Greek friends. And thank you very much for the invitation to the final conference of our project. I bring you the most sincere greetings from President of Chamber of Foggia, Damiano Gelsomino, and General Manager Lorella Palladino. I immediately apologize for my English, pardon. Also, for this, I will help me with a PowerPoint presentation. I am going to share my screen. Okay. Authentic OliveNet is a project that we have carried out with many difficulties, considering the period we have lived and which we are still experiencing. Unfortunately, in this moment, I am at home with the fever. But I didn't want to miss the appointment. It was a project that has seen all partners always aligned and with a single intent to hitch Greek and Italian olive production and trout oil to encourage the growth of our territories. Greek and Italy olive, in fact, when we talk about extra virgin olive oil, we cannot fail to talk about romance, but also our history and our tradition, all elements in common between Puglia and Greece. We will see together today how the pilot project for the implementation of the certification produced for authentic olive oil in Italy is developed. To do this, we naturally started by sharing the technical aspects. We have thus two fundamental aspects, namely the origin and variety of the olives. But respect for cultivation methods and the methods of transforming olives into the oil were also examined. Methods and the modality that unit Greece and Italy. Let's see how we started. First of all, we invited the local company to join the pilot project through an online form, also promoted on the website of the Foggia Chamber of Commerce. This is the screenshot of the online form. After we proceeded to draft the edition regulation and the decalogue of value, common value. Let's see these two documents together quickly. The accession regulation. The regulation identifies the production and marketing method for companies to join the Authentic Olive Net program. In fact, all producers of extra virgin olive oil will carry out activities in area affected by the project Puglia region can apply for membership by sending the form called the application form membership in the Authentic Olive Net program. The regulation provides for the adhesion of producers of monovarietal oils, that is oils obtained from olives of only one of the following varieties, Coratina, Peranzana, or Favolosa, FS17. Grown in the Puglia region and processed by companies located in the region. The production methods and company organization adopted must comply with both the provisions of current legislation, hazard analysis critical control point, and the requirements that regulate the hygiene, health, and the safety of works. The regulation also provides for the chemical, physical, and organoleptic characteristics of the oil. In particular, as regards the organoleptic characteristics, Peranzana olive oils characterized by a medium intense level of fruitiness, a medium level of bitter and spicy, with prevalent herbaceous sensations. Coratina olive oil characterized by a medium intense level of fruit, with the prevalent hint of fresh almond and light sensation of grass. And Favolosa olive oil characterized by a medium intense level of fruitness and a medium level of bitter and spice, with the prevalent herbaceous sensation and free almond and tomatoes. The decalogue of common value, as I mentioned, we have also underlined the shared value to strive for. The project is based on the following primary values: membership of the Authentic Olive Net platform, transparency towards the final consumer and customer, contribute to the well-being and health of consumers, commitment to respect the agronomic requirements envisaged, commitment to comply with the technological and the process requirements envisaged. Commitment to apply the best professional practice and the best possible technologies at every stage. Commitment to comply with the traceability requirements, which give evidence of the product batch obtained according to the indication of authentic olive nectar. Commitment to mutual technical support between operation and sharing of knowledge with the aim of improving know-how and guaranteeing a continuous exchange between producers. 9. Ensure staff are properly trained on authentic olive nectar matters and guarantee the sale of oil which chemical, physical, and organoleptic characteristics in line with the authentic olive nectar program in order to guarantee high product quality standards. Even if we had a first membership, we asked the company for a more formal confirmation by means of a certificate email. Each company issued the following data: the application data, the type of the oil, the origin of the olives, the variety of olives, Coratina, Peranzana, or Favolosa, the data of the oil mill, the packer's data. Here is an example of the completed application form. Membership is issued exclusively for a period of 1 year. Therefore, the application must therefore be renewed annually. Membership automatically implies a check of the regulation and the decalogue. At this point, we began the registration check to check the compliance of what was declared by the producer with the data present in the business register managed by the Chamber of Commerce. In particular, the initial verification concerned the existence of the company, the headquarters, and the activity carried out, and the quarters. The subsequent rounds of sampling and analysis then confirmed the chemical and the physical characteristics of the oils analyzed during the project. During the census, the company data were confirmed. Furthermore, the promotion platform developed by the partners during the project can be a useful verification tool. In fact, the platform allows us to enter company information, location, certificate of analysis, traceability documents, hazard analysis, critical control point document, health authorization, and data relating to your available oil lots after accessing with your own credentials. All these data are compared with the data held by the Chamber of Commerce. And at the end of this process, the right to use the seal and the certificate of belonging to the authentic Olivenet supply chain are issued. The aim is to qualify the product, but at the same time to bring consumer closer to small producer and Italian producer to Greek producers. Thank you very much for the time you have dedicated to me, and for any doubts, I invite you to write.
Εμείς τον ευχαριστούμε τον εκπρόσωπο του συνεταιρισμού του Μπάρι και του επιμελητηρίου της Φότζια. Παρακαλέσω πάλι να είμαστε
We would like to thank the representative of Bari and the Chamber of Foggia. We need to be brief in time. Now we have the representative of the Chamber of Preveza, Mr. Canelos. Chemical engineer. Is that right? Is he here? Because we have been given... sorry. We are going to be, he's going to be online. Okay, let's connect to Mr. Canelos then. He is going to present the basket of authentic products. Can we connect with the representative of the Agricultural Association, Mr. Pasquale, then, from the Association of Bari?
Τα διαδίκτυα, αλλά όταν είναι συνεπείς και εμείς και αυτοί.
Okay, the internet is good, but we need to connect on time.
Ωραία. Πάμε λοιπόν να δούμε το βίντεο του κύριου Πασκουάλε, οπότε... Ελπίζω να είναι στο δεκάλεπτο, κύριε Καρασούλου, γιατί αλλιώς θα το διακόψουμε, γιατί έχουμε ξεπεράσει πολύ το χρόνο μας. Έτσι και νομίζω
Okay, let's go to Mr. Pasquale's video, because it's going to be brief, because we're behind schedule. Okay, let's have a look.
Good morning. I am Pasquale Costantino, and I'm in charge to explain you what the Authentic Olivenet e-promotion platform is. The e-promotion platform is a database, a cloud database, where the Authentic Olivenet partners can store information about their productions. Moreover, we created this platform in order to allow institutions to verify the production data of member companies. And the most important feature of the platform is the showcase generator. And furthermore, this IT tool allows us to speed up some formal and qualitative checks on the companies that adhere to the program. Let me do an example. Technicians who are in charge to execute checks on the product can speed up their activities, reading information and data from the e-promotion platform instead to search it on the fields. The e-promotion platform has two main areas. One for private use, dedicated to the Authentic Olivenet producers and institutions, and the other one with public access that allows consumers to browse the basket of products. Each authentic olive net producer have to adapt the founding values of the authentic olive net network. Not only have to adhere to the best production techniques established by the technical committee of the network. Furthermore, each company must provide through the e-promotion platform all the useful data to describe their company, to describe the production techniques, its productions with a great detail, pictures of the lands, picture of the mill, and so on. Furthermore, for each harvest and milling campaign, it is necessary to attach the data of chemical analysis, and great importance is given to the sensory profile of the olive oil included in the basket. In this way, the public area of the e-promotion platform allows consumers to read and view all the details, useful to choose the right oil for their tables.
Τελείωσε νομίζω ο κύριος Πασκουάλε. Ωραία. Το βίντεο είναι που μας παρουσίασε. Αυτό ήταν λοιπόν. Ωραία. Θα συνεχίσεις εσύ Παναγιώτη. Ωραία. Πάμε στη δεύτερη παρουσίαση που είχε ο κύριος Κάτζαρης.
Γεια σας και πάλι. Η παρουσίαση αυτή...
Hello again. This presentation would take place by Vasiliki Skiada, our colleague from Kalamata department of horticultural crops. We had the chance to distinguish the varieties of olive oils. I would like to thank Vasiliki Skiada and all the colleagues from the Department of Olive and Horticultural Crops of Kalamata, because without their help we couldn't conclude our research. Also the research personnel of the Hellenic Agricultural Organization of Patras, Demeter. I'll try to be the certification of authentic olive oil should be based on real data, on data which every producer could call on in order to prove the authenticity of the product, in order to avoid other competitors with a low level of quality oils. The two varieties that were included in the program could go further, and the same program could be adopted by other varieties as well. Here, the varieties that we would like to highlight had certain characteristics. We had indications in the previous years which showed us that we could use them in order to give them an added value. For example, the olive oil acid, is the basic fat acid in our olive oil, where in Korneki variety is in very high levels. This is a positive element which could be used even as a health product, that very few know this. The high levels of olive oil acid is equal to other ingredients that are good for our health. We know from the beginning that we could use this olive oil acid and other fats that are in the ingredients of our varieties, we knew that we could use the sterols, the natural sterols. Most of you may know a great campaign in the previous years promoting margarines enriched with natural sterols, Bessel type of products, Proactive and etc. They are low-level olive oils enriched with natural sterols. Sterols are in our oils, olive oils, not in every varieties and not in the same levels in every variety. Each variety has its own physical and chemical characteristics. Koroneiki has low level of sterols and high levels of olive oil acid. This wasn't within the objectives of the programs, but with this program, we managed to have a national file which national experts use. Ms. Christopoulou and others who are experts, retired experts from the National Committee of Olive Oil. I would like to inform you, for those who don't know it, that the very good oils of a Koroneiki variety, the very good oils are not considered as extra virgin olive oils, according to the EU committee. These oils that have very high sterols, the limit for an olive oil to be characterized as extra virgin are 1,000 sterols. So our good oils that win competitions, and they have very good characteristics, such as Koroneiki variety, which are very famous all over the world. And you saw before how many millions of olive oil trees, Koroneiki variety, have been planted. In Israel, Koroneiki variety is number one. In Spain, there is a Koroneiki variety also. But for the last decades, even if Koroneiki variety is a Greek variety, it's not protected by our state. Its extra virgin oil has sterols, enough sterols, in order to be an extra virgin oil. Our qualitative samples, even the average was below 1,000 BPM. The oil has other positive characteristics like tocopherols, mainly the A tocopherol, the fat-soluble vitamin E, which is very known to us. And there's no need of taking vitamin E. We should take tocopherols instead. There are so many characteristics considered as very healthy for the olive oils. Carbohydrates, an equal significant characteristic, but not carbohydrates such as sugar. Polyphenols or phenols, which I referred to them before, which are found only in olive oil. I was asked about olive oil trees and etc. As I said also yesterday, you cannot drink shots of olive oil every day, or eat olive oil in great quantities, but you can have some olive oil every day with a leaf of bread or whatever, and take your phenols in a hygienic way. They have all these healthy characteristics. They are against cancer, against bad cholesterol, etc. We measured some basic characteristics because we had to measure them in order to classify our oils, such as acidity, peroxide value measurement, and the spectrophometric control UE. Such criteria we needed in order to classify the olive oil. We try to use them in the authentication of the products, but we see it in the statistical model of Mr. Mansopoulos before that these are very common in all varieties. So we take them off and we focused on characteristics that gave us differentiations. We could go on talking and talking for days in terms of olive oil, but our time framework is very limited because we had to go home sometime. Well, factors influencing the acidity, you know better than me, those that are producers. It's the content of oil in free fatty acids created by the enzyme lipase. The factors that negatively affect olive trees diseases. The peroxide value has to do with the amount of peroxide found in olive oil. Peroxides are chemical compounds produced by the action of oxygen. The factors that negatively affect the value of peroxides are injured fruits during harvest and storage, contact of oil with water, light, temperature, oxygen. If our oil takes extra oxygen in very high temperatures, the peroxides are rising. That's why we need to preserve very well the olive oil. There are also other factors influencing the quality, traces of metallic elements, etc. The indexes K show how fresh an olive oil is, how the preservation process is taking place. The Koroneiki variety has the great advantage that preserves its quality for more than a year. That's why it's very famous. And that's why Koroneiki variety is sold in great quantities in other countries, and unfortunately even in Italy, that they buy as a raw material, and after they make the packaging and promotion, etc. The organoleptic assessment of olive oil quality is a great matter, a great issue. The varieties of oil have their own distinct characteristics, senses of smell and taste. For the last years, we have established amongst them Miss Effie Christopoulou. Even if she's retired, she's still an expert of the National Committee. And together with Spanish and Italian people, we set criteria of evaluation. And in order to have an extra virgin oil, the olive oil should go under the evaluation of experts and trace its fructose taste above a certain percentage set by a certain evaluation sheet, more than 3.5. If you need specific details after the end of the presentation, you are welcome. The basic characteristics of olive oil, it's fruitiness that has to do with the smell, bitterness that has to do, it's a typical primary taste of olive oil obtained from green olives or olives that begin to turn yellow. The spicy sense is an intense and tangible taste of early harvest olive oils derived from olives that are still unripe. This spice taste that comes from acid most of times, and it's also traceable by smell. For example, if you have preserved old olive oils that are kept for years, if we smell them, we can smell this acidity, this negative smell is acid. But when we taste it, the spiciness is one of the main characteristics of a good olive oil. Basic negative organoleptic characteristics of olive oil, fast muddy sediment, humidity, winey, vinegary, acid, sour, and taste. Smell and taste characteristic of olive oil that reminds us of wine or vinegar. It comes from the fermentation of fructose sugars. In Spanish, it's called avocado. It smells like kind of bad kind of cheese, moody and winey vinegar has this taste of vinegar, comes from the sugars of the oil. If we trace such characteristics in our olive oil, means that it's of bad quality. And if it's also rancid, shows that has undergone a strong oxidation process. It goes beyond the limit of the climate of 3.5 set by the National Committee of Olive Oils. So on metallic, heated, burnt, wake, cucumber, or worm after olive oil disease. All these are traceable by panels. All these elements can be traceable even with our nose. The panel that they trace with the taste can smell and taste characteristic of olive oil derived from olive fruit that have been preserved in saline solution. Most of times, some people are coming and are telling me why the oil is like this. Even oils used for cars or other kind of oils can be traced with our nose. We can go on and on talking, but we don't have much time. There are also secondary elements as a common value system of the authentic olive net project conditions for the participation of an oil producer. The colleague from Italy has presented before all this. Except for these elements of the analysis, we should also have some conditions like being member of the cross-border area to come from this area to be a producer of extra virgin oil, olive oil, and has this 10 points. The methodology that we followed is we took a selection of 5 single variety olive oils from varieties Κορνέκη, Ηλιανολιά, Φωμολόζα, FS 19, Coratina, Peranzana. We took samples of these 5 varieties from the project areas, Western Greece, Preveza, Puglia. The sampling were beyond any doubt. We had the crop, we did the process, and we derived the olive oil. We didn't mix it with other varieties or whatever. We had the samples in small bottles, and the variety was beyond any doubt. We have the machine learning model, which at the end we had the certainty that we had the authentic variety. We did all this, we carried out all this chemical analysis. The selections of varieties that we chose were a collection of 3 periods, depending on the maturity of the olives. Finally, we showed that we had the early harvest oils, the mid-season harvest oils, and the late harvest oils, all these 3 periods. There are differentiations between these 3 periods. We should know this in regarding sterols. The early harvest has very low sterols, but when it gets mature, it goes up to 1,200 and 1,300. The issue is if we prefer to have high sterols or high ferols. Personally, I would like to have early harvests with high level of sterols. We talked about the samples before. We stored them all these 3 years. We have the chemical analysis performed on the basis of registration, free fatty acids, peroxide value, phenolsterols, etc. We created the profile of the organoleptic characteristics of the registered olive oils of Italy and the selected olive oils of Greece in all these varieties. They have indicatively, we have some analysis data. They are all in code figures because we cannot put forward personal data. All these were extra virgin oils, except for the small differentiations. Here we have the sterols. You see KE1, 930 sterols. This is not an extra virgin oil because it's below 1,000 sterols. KE10, 822. This should be harvest oil. And we should note this and go forward with this. We are certain that in the next conference of the EU Committee and the National Olive Oil Committee, we should ask for sponsorship from regions or from the Ministry of Rural Development. Now we have this data. We gave them all this data. talking about the Koroneiki variety, which is one of the best, if not the best variety of the world. I have some indicative data also. The fat acids, which are characteristic, 18.1, which is the olive oil acid, has a great collection of acid in the variety of Korneki. Even Llanolia has a great level of collection, has a higher level of sterols, and we should highlight this in this variety, and has a distinct aromatic profile. We could say this will be one of the next varieties that will win prizes if we take care of this variety. We should generate a harvest, an early harvest, which would have greater prospects. This is the objective of the program, to highlight the olive oils in order to generate added value to the product. Here we see clearly the difference between varieties, the differences. There is no case that with only 1, 2, 3 acid fats that are distinct, even for the smaller ones, with only 1, 2, 3 fat acids, the average is not easily distinguishable. The clear varieties are Koroneiki and Llanolia. In machine learning that Mr. Manouchopoulos brought forward before, we used much more data. We used all the measurements in sterols and fat acids, and we had more specific results. It is clear that not only these two varieties, we could use this in other varieties as well. From specific collectiveness, we have shown this. We certify this now in scientific terms. We will also issue them in journals, scientific journals. We have the same in the total sterols average. We see the average in Llanolia is more than 1,300 ppm. All these kind of Bessel say that they have natural sterols and etc. Nonsense. Instead of Bessel Proactyl, have this kind of olive oil. It's much more healthier. The companies are taking profit by telling lies to people. Koroneiki, on average, has less than 1,000 sterols, but has other competitive advantages instead. In conclusion, because I wouldn't like to make you more tired, the objective would be to discuss also at the end. I don't know how tired you will be at the end of the conference, because we have also the workshop, or the capitalization workshop after. In this case, we have the analysis of 5 varieties within 3 years. We classified them. We took off the values that we didn't use for our process. We keep the values that lead to the creation of a model for the identification of different olive varieties. I'm afraid to say that there are people, Iranian people, that have made similar projects to ours with national sponsorships. And in our shoes, we are looking for sponsorships in. This is our complaint, because we are chasing the sponsors. The combination of several important chemical parameters can give us with great certainty close to 100% the variety origin of olive oil, from 90% to 100% of certainty for the differentiation of varieties between them. This figure is a minor figure of samples. The samples, for example, the Italians have 4 varieties and the Spanish 5 varieties. These are exemptions from the EU regulation. And they have taken thousands of samples, and all these were sponsored by the state. And this says all. And what we've managed is to have only 40 samples of Koroneiki variety and some other hundreds of samples to support our position that the variety of Koroneiki is a great variety of olive oil, and even its early harvest is of great quality also. We would like to thank Mr. Katsaris. Let's go to the second unit. If there's people if anyone would like to ask anything to Mr. Katsaris or Mr.
For any of the speakers, we are at your available. Mr. Koumaniatis. Okay, I have all the spotlights on me and I can't see very well. Mr. Koumaniatis has an olive mill. Are there different organoleptic characteristics in each area? Yes, I forgot to mention that. This is one of the findings of the program, that we did not see any differences between the Koroneiki cultivation varieties. We had low sterols, either from the area of Preveza or from Koroneiki from Western Greece, so from Achaia and Ilia. And the same happens with data that we have for Koroneiki varieties from Messenia, Laconia, from Argolida, Corinthia, Kerkyra, Zante, Ithaca, and maybe some other areas. But because we have a lot of samples that we analyzed from different regions of the country, we haven't seen any changes in the chemical characteristics. So more or less, we see that the genetic code DNA is prevalent over the climatic conditions and soil conditions. It's a presentation that I'm going to present, and I'll tell you the differences between the GDPO and the other ones. Unfortunately, I know about this, so because my colleague who was supposed to present it, I'm going to do that as well. So these two different designations of protected designation of origin and protected origin do not have to do with the DNA exactly, but they are kind of supportive. They are selected by the body that selects to make the certification. So they say, I want a geographic designation of origin with this kind of characteristic to have an increased quality product. It's not a specification exactly. So it's a voluntary admission to a quality system, if I can put it that way, with the various specifications written by the body that wants to use this. So there are no significant changes in these features, but there are changes in the local history, the folklore, the cultivation of the variety in specific ways. There are a series of such data in the various different kinds of certifications. And of course, there are also other categories of products, traditional products. These are three product categories in the EU that have to do with history, folklore aspects, traditional ways of cultivations. Any other questions? No. So we're finishing with the first session. I'd just like to say that after all that we heard today, I continue to see that these are the first steps, like we are in the nursery school, but we're talking about something that's been produced in Greece for thousands of years, and there is no training for the public about what they want to buy and what they want to eat. So this is a first step which we need that state has to do as well, and the bodies that are involved that can convey this message. We need to train people on what they should eat and what the characteristics of authentic olive oil is. We think that we have the best olive oil, perhaps, but it's not exactly, we can't just claim that. We need to do this in a scientific manner to see in a documented fashion. So after 3 years, we reached this event today with all these data. So we are going to show a video. Are you ready to present it?
For thousands of years, on both sides of the Adriatic Sea in the south of Europe, ancient olive groves have allowed the production of extra virgin olive oil, one of the finest and most precious foods. The increasing demand for high-quality, authentic products has prompted farmers, as well as private and public institutions, to join forces in building a network of cooperation between the Apulian, the Western Greece, and the Epirus regions. On such premises, the interregional cross-border authentic olive net was established. AON will involve Italian and Greek producers with the goal of having them adopting the best farming and pressing techniques so as to offer our consumers the most authentic, high-quality product.
Extra virgin olive oil, vital for my health. It is a real source of well-being, and it is also so delicious. However, I fully realize the importance of choosing the right oil. Picking a product just on the basis of price or brand is definitely not enough. I carefully select and buy extra virgin olive oil, giving me the rich, authentic flavors of the territory of origin.
Here, in the Western Greece region, we've been producing olive oil for millennia. Our olive varieties are Lianoia and Korominki. It is not easy to produce high-quality oil. The Authentic Olive Net program is contributing to the enhancement of our hard work and the authenticity of our millenary varieties of olives and the aromas that our oil can give to discerning consumers.
In the area, we grow the Coratina and Transational varieties. Over the past few years, the Favolosa variety has been introduced as well. Olive growing takes attention, experience, and large investment. The best olive oil comes only from the best olives. This is our ultimate aspiration. We are committed to let all consumers fully appreciate the authentic and unique flavors our land has to offer.
As a Foggia Chamber of Commerce, we support and promote the Authentic Olive Net cross-border project because we want to help oil producers in our area. The authenticity of flavor and taste is a paramount value we aim to share with the final consumers.
Although extra virgin olive oils present in the Authentic Olive Net basket are quality oils. Furthermore, all the producers of the Authentic project are committed to produce olives and olive oil in compliance with the best rules and to undergo controls.
For additional information about our olive oils, our producers, and our values, please visit our Authentic Olive Net website.
So the video essentially took us to the second session, which is about the capitalization of this program. So the program's over, and we not only need to draw some conclusions, but to capitalize on this experience. So our aim here is to have olive meals, standardization units, packaging units to be able to register in this platform that will help promote their olive oils with these high quality characteristics in Greece and abroad. This is the aim of the program. We will going to hear from Mr. Siomadis, who will present the capitalization contract, Mr. Katsaris, who is going to talk about synergies and the promotion of the result, and a representative of the Italian corporation about their actions for promotion and support. But first of all, I'd like to welcome the Deputy Regional Governor, Mr. Zaimis, who is responsible for entrepreneurship, research and innovation. Thank you very much, Mr. Zaimis, for being here. Thank you very much. Dear friends and organizers and the President of the Chamber of Commerce of Preveza, just briefly, because I saw the other seminars of the project as well, this project promotes olive oil and specific varieties and how you, the producers, can be able to see the comparative advantages of each variety, and through this to be able to achieve a more competitive product and better sales. What I had suggested last time is a proposal. When a European project finishes, we need to think of what is the next one to come. So we need to see what we need to submit for the next NSRF programming period. So what I had said then, that we need to think very deeply about a variety bank. I don't think this exists, and not even at the ministry. So that first of all, we can archive these varieties that we have in the region, and not only in the region of Achaia, but also in Western Greece and Epirus and in the other regions of the country, to be able to archive these, study them, salvage them, and to see how we can highlight them in the country and abroad. I believe that such a project with a collaboration of the existing partners of the project would be very beneficial, and of course with our friends from Italy. And I believe that this could have a future. The next NSRF period is likely to begin in June this year. In essence, we have started, but the procedures have not been approved yet by the EU. I believe that they will be soon. But it's very important for the partners of the program and all these authorities to start from now with preparing a plan so that when the next NSRF period is going to start, we will be ready. I'd like to say that the region of Kalandritsa was selected and not Patras, and this was selected by us actually. because we should promote and highlight the beautiful areas that we have, and especially the Gurdupes estate belongs to a family that has tried a lot to decentralize events, not only concerning Patras, but also the whole of Western Greece. And it has tried very much to highlight the beauties of that region in collaboration with lots of schools that visit this estate for various educational trips. So we should, as a region, to support such private initiatives, because this is a great, I mean, it's very important. It's very important not to focus only on the center of Patras. A few months ago, I had the opportunity to visit the beautiful city of Preveza and to see the work done there by the municipality and the chamber on a very beautiful marina. And we hope in Patras to understand at some point that it's a key thing to have a new marina. And I'm telling you this, Mr. Segale, because you were a deputy mayor of Patras. I know it's not absolutely connected to today's conference, but we need to have major projects in the area. As the region of Western Greece, we have a budget of about 1.5 million euros, of which 500 million are for entrepreneurship mainly. We are planning a lot of different actions. Already we have in progress a series of projects that mainly concern entrepreneurship, and of course, quite a few programs that are addressed to farmers, especially young farmers. The main thing I'd like to say is that in all our plans, we should not think only, we should think mainly about innovation. In agriculture, in trade and services, we should think to be able to be viable and competitive and extroverted, we should encompass innovation in what we do. I think this is very important. And I think the younger generation understands this, that we need to ensure innovation in entrepreneurship. And I think that this panel here and this program has helped in this direction. Thank you very much. I hope every success, and I wait for your results. Thank you. Thank you very much for the Deputy Regional Governor, not only because as a representative of the region of Western Greece, but personally as well, because he tried a lot to help us with the deadlines, with extensions, and to be able to go beyond political interventions, because some things are taken for granted, but they're not. We wouldn't have been able to do it without them. So we move on to the presentation of Mr. Siomalis, who is going to present the capitalization contract of the project. Good afternoon. I am going to start where my friend Panayotis ended, talking about the end of the project. It's really good to see that the project was completed successfully, and our partnership, this connection between the members of the team were the secret to our success. But I'm going to lighten his pain about the end of the project, because Panayotis, the project is not over, you know. It's just the first part of the game. So I'm here to present the rest of our game plan, what we have agreed to do as our next steps in the context of the capitalization agreement that we've already signed, all of us partners. So let's start and see. The presentation is in Italian so that our Italian partners can understand And as the previous speaker said, we have a robust olive oil production industry in Greece and in Italy. We have high quality olive oil and olive oil products, but on the other side, the local companies are actually not greatly competitive. And of course, we need to take into account the constantly increasing consumers' interest towards traditional and authentic products. But again, on the downside, we need to understand that there is a significant lag in exploiting the huge symbolic capital of olives. Also, the existing certification procedures do not promote sufficiently the high quality of local olive oil products, and this is what we're trying to do to improve them. There is room for improvement in the cooperation between SMEs and research centers in the olive products sector and between the regional authorities. So this is a kind of triple helix that we need. Finally, there are new market needs and trends that have pushed companies in the food sector and the oil sector to look for tools capable of guaranteeing to consumers quality, safety, and the reliability of the products we offer. Now, what are the main capitalizable project outcomes? The first is a common value system that we created with our Italian friends to secure the authentic flavors and aromas of extra virgin olive oils from 5 local olive varieties. Second, the authentic olive net seal, a private label awarded only to Greek and Italian producers, to extra virgin olive oils, or everyone who participates in the cross-border Greece-Italy area belonging to the authentic olive oil network. Then a common basket of authentic olive oil products characterized by high quality standards, an e-promotion platform to promote in a smart way the basket of authentic olive oil products, an e-networking platform to promote the cooperation and networking amongst the local olive oil producers and other stakeholders, and finally, digital training materials, which we can use at any point. Now, we want to promote the use and exploitation of the authentic olive oil net seal from further local oil producers to attract new users to the 2 platforms, to promote the digital training materials to new and young olive oil farmers and producers, to transfer our common value system to the other organizations in other countries that we have created with the Italians as a useful model for assisting economic growth of the olive oil sector, to transform new international contacts and connections into new business opportunities, to exchange information and experiences among local olive oil SMEs, to promote the basket of authentic olive oil products, and finally to involve other relevant stakeholders in this idea and in the concept we have created. So, the main aim of the capitalization agreement is the establishment of an authentic olive network in the cross-border area Greece, Italy, that aims to the following: the better introduction of the authentic olive net seal to olive oil producers and to small and medium enterprises, and the promotion of high quality local extra virgin olive oils to the internal and foreign markets. Thus, the main aim of the network is to be an ecosystem of interregional ecosystem with research centers and universities, companies in the olive oil sector, chambers, cooperatives, SMEs, representatives, local, regional, national, and public authorities, associations of young and new olive farmers and olive oil products, so as to offer innovative quality check services and promotional tools assuring the authenticity of olive oil. This is our seal that we have created. You see it with a Q. It's in the Latin fonts, and with a P for Piotita quality in the Greek version. And all those who are part of the network and can use this can put it on their bottles, and it aims to increase consumer confidence in the quality of local olive oils, and on the other hand, to promote and to protect the interests of producers. So we need to move away from competition and to boost our competitiveness for these producers here. Now, some synergies. As we said, exchanging of relevant information and know-how on authenticity, promoting the website of the project so that it becomes a website for the network itself, and a few other actions that we see here. I'm just presenting them here, and we will discuss them later on. New members of the network. Apart from the existing authorities, as we said, it's chambers, business associations, olive oil producers, gourmet associations, clusters, civil society organizations, and environmental and consumer associations, and professional associations operating in this area. So, in summary, we have a new programming period ahead of us, 21-27. At a regional level, there are plans going on for actions. So, Mr. Zaimis, moving on from here, all this thing that we've created for the quality assurance of authenticity that we implemented on a pilot basis. First of all, Panagiotis, we need to complete it in every detail, and we need to translate this into an institution at a regional level in the region of Western Greece. The dear chamber of the Preveza chamber, dear president of the Preveza chamber, you need to do the same so that all olive oil producers can use it and so that it can have concrete results. And at the central government level, in the new agricultural development program, you need to include this, and then the AgroCert as well. All this system should be converted into a certification system. If we manage to achieve just these things, I think that we've done what we're here to do, and we can provide significant opportunities for growth to the sector. Thank you very much. We've got much more to discuss. Thank you very much, Mr. Somades. We were supposed to have a 10-minute presentation by the representative of Skopoli in Bari, but we're going to connect now to finish now then with Mr. Kazalis.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hi everyone.
Hello everybody. Niente, si sente?
No, so. Hi everyone.
Σας ακούμε.
Hi everyone. Can someone?
Okay.
Interessante. Can someone hear us? So I can't hear you. So we have the audio on, but I can't hear. Vai Giacomo, iniziamo. Ci senti?
Ci sentite?
Sì, loro ci sentono.
Ok. Buongiorno. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, we can't hear you, but we are going to start to speak about our presentation. So I don't know if we have some problem or, but we can see the video, but it's impossible to hear something. Va bene, iniziamo. Possiamo iniziare comunque perché loro ci sentono.
Va bene, ok. Allora.
Ακούμε δύο μεταφράσεις, καταλαβαίνω καλά.
Okay, so now I heard something. Okay, so we are going to speak.
Va bene. Allora, Andrea, io penso che inquadreranno te. Okay. Buongiorno a tutti, un saluto dall'Assoproli Bari.
So, good morning everyone, greetings from Assoproli Bari. So today I'm going to translate Giacomo Carreras and to present the action that will be taken to promote the supporting of authentic olive net in Italy.
Benissimo. L'opportunità avuta con questo programma ha fatto sì che l'opportunità della...
The opportunity that we have with this program give us
un ulteriore riscontro dell'importanza della sinergia della cooperazione.
So give us to understand the really important opportunity of cooperation.
Il valore aggiunto è appunto il continuo trasferimento di nozioni a livello, in questo caso transfrontaliero, cioè tra la Grecia e l'Italia.
The main value is the possibility to share information and share the know-how between our horticulture of the south of Italy and the experience of the country.
And, il trasferimento è una delle nostre missioni principali, il trasferimento di informazioni ai nostri 20.000 associati.
So the transferation of the information is something that is really important for us and for Assoproli. It's something that we are doing since Assoproli started this project. And one of the important things to promote this program of Authentic Olive Net is to use all the organization that Assoproli already has to share and promote this project.
Infatti, sin dalla fondazione dell'Assoproli, sia dalla nascita dell'Assoproli, la nostra missione è stata proprio quella di informare continuamente i nostri olivicoltori sulla necessità della transizione verso le buone pratiche e verso nuove tecnologie.
So since the foundation of ASSOPROLI body, so shared information has been really important. So in ASSOPROLI body, we develop a different system to try to share information between the cooperative, so something that is directly from ASSOPROLI to the cooperative and the organization that is inside, and directly with the producer, like something with the SMS that we are already sending to put in contact the ASSOPROLI body with the whole producer directly.
Ovviamente, proprio per stare al passo coi tempi, anche mediante AgroApp, un'applicazione creata proprio per trasferire nel modo più veloce possibile tutte le informazioni relative non solo all'agronomia ma anche alle tecniche trasformative.
So in the last period, ASSOPROLI developed AgroApp is an application for share information, because we think that share information with the producer, share the knowledge with the producer is something that is really, really important.
Benissimo, veniamo adesso ovviamente dando per scontato le competenze e le novità introdotte grazie a questo programma Interreg.
So we understand that the really important new information that we share in this project, so it's important of all this knowledge.
Veniamo quindi a capire quali sono le possibilità per supportare e promuovere l'utilizzo di questa piattaforma.
Okay, so now we are going to explain which are the possibility to develop this platform in Italy.
Partiamo dal presupposto che la diffidenza, tra virgolette, all'utilizzo di queste nuove tecnologie ormai è superata, in quanto da più tempo e anche privatamente le nostre aziende utilizzano vari canali per promuovere i loro prodotti.
So in our area, so the producers are already know how to use technology. So these things about the difficulty to use technology is already something that we already overpass.
E quindi ci troviamo già in una posizione vantaggiosa e questi strumenti non sono stati altro che sono stati facilmente e favorevolmente accettati dalle aziende, ma anche soprattutto dai frantoi che già producono un olio di alta qualità.
So this way to share information with the technology is something that the people and the producer in our organization
quindi dataci in ulteriori approfondimenti legati alla combinazione tra quello che ci viene, tra virgolette, imposto a livello comunitario e quello che noi possiamo mettere in campo per ottimizzare ulteriormente e creare del plus valore alle nostre aziende.
So one action is about the sharing information is put directly in contact the new knowledge of the European project with the producer. Non so più che devo dire.
E quindi il discorso di continuare con questo fil rouge legato alla transizione ecologica, alla
information about the European project, about farm to fork, about sustainability. So is try to develop this information.
Mezzi che inizialmente erano visti anche con un certo distacco, un certo scetticismo, ma che finalmente, visto anche il riscontro positivo con la produzione, con il risparmio non solo energetico ma dei costi, sono, diciamo, proprietà comuni di tutti gli olivicoltori e devono essere tali.
So these best practices are really important, and Giacomo, non so più che dire, mannaggia miseria.
Parliamo del discorso della sostenibilità e del continuare, in quanto questa è la strada giusta per avere qualità, ma anche
the correct way,
per avere un riscontro immediato anche come commercializzazione dei prodotti ottenuti dai nostri associati e quindi in questo caso anche dalla Grecia.
Giacomo, non so proprio cosa dire, veramente.
Il discorso è quello di continuare con questi strumenti.
So the thing is to try to continue to use these instruments about the sustainable practice and use all this capacity, all this best practice that sometimes ASSOPROLI is already applying in our organization, and trying to develop this information and use this best practice to produce to obtain a really good high quality olives. So, and for the sustainability of and to reduce the environmental impact.
Perché inevitabilmente si tradurranno in una conquista di mercato da parte delle aziende.
This will give a new possibility to enter in the market of our company.
Ok. Inevitabilmente la selezione di oli monocultivar, così come da noi con la coratina, con la favolosa, questa nuova varietà resistente.
On the other hand, the selection of the new variety like coratina and favolosa that is resistant of Xylella fastidiosa.
Oppure le stesse coronechi e le anolia greche ci ha permesso appunto di
or the other Greece variety like Koroneiki give us the possibility
di poter far comprendere l'ulteriore qualità intrinseca che molto spesso era diciamo scambiata per altro.
Cioè, this gives us the possibility to understand the really high quality of this variety, so to understand really quality that is related with the variety, so working with monocultivar olive oil.
Il decalogo è creato con la sinergia, quindi con la partnership anche della Camera di Commercio e di tutti gli altri attori, non ha fatto altro che esaltare delle best practice che già in qualche modo erano attuate, ma senza riscontro. Speriamo appunto che questo possa dare la via giusta per dare un riscontro e quindi ulteriori sbocchi commerciali.
So the application of and the writing of the Decalogue give us the possibility to underline the best practice that sometimes not everyone is applying in the grow. So this will give us the possibility to underline this best practice and try to develop the application of this best practice in our producer grow.
Quindi non mi resta che ribadire l'eccellente esperienza che abbiamo avuto e quindi che possa essere diciamo il trampolino di lancio, dare il là per ulteriori collaborazioni.
So this gives us a really good opportunity to share information and give us the opportunity to start a new project.
Magari utilizzando altre strumenti messi a punto dalla cooperazione affinché si possa diciamo finalmente equiparare la olivicoltura greca, l'olivicoltura italiana, l'olivicoltura insomma delle nostre regioni a una vera e propria frutticoltura che possa esaltare il legame col territorio.
And this will be maybe in the future a good opportunity to establish a new project of cooperation, maybe to transfer and try to compare the olive culture of the south of Italy with the olive culture of Greece. So I try to develop all the olive culture, and olive culture will be like a fruticulture. So the idea of the olive culture is try to transform the idea maybe of the idea of olive culture that we have today in the same idea of the fruticulture. So this is the aim of the future. So with the use of the sustainable practice that we explain, and trying to increase the high quality of the olive oil at the end of the pot. Yes.
La qualità paga sempre e questa è l'ennesima riprova che lo scambio di opinioni e di esperienze non fa altro che il bene di tutto il settore.
So, share information and is something that is good for everyone, and the quality will pay every time and everywhere, the quality of the product.
Un caro saluto a tutti, vi abbraccio, non vediamo l'ora di rincontrarci magari dal vivo, anche perché la situazione non è facile e speriamo di incontrarci magari questa volta in Grecia con migliori presupposti.
So greetings to everyone, and we hope to stay soon all together and to share information and other things. Come funziona?
Λοιπόν, ευχαριστούμε τους φίλους από τον Αγροτικό Συνεταιρισμό του Μπάρι και θα κλείσουμε πάλι με τον Παναγιώτη Κάτσαρη, ο οποίος θα μας πει το θέμα για τις ενέργειες για την προώθηση και τη χρήση των αποτελεσμάτων, το αυθεντικό Livenet. Και είναι η τελευταία ομιλία. Καταλαβαίνω ότι όλοι έχετε κουραστεί, αλλά τελειώσαμε. Σε 10 λεπτά φαντάζομαι ο Παναγιώτης θα έχει κλείσει την ομιλία.
Θα με υποστείτε μόνο μία συμπληρωματική έτσι πληροφόρηση.
So just some additional information based on the information that I have from the management authority of for the new period. It's going to focus on the promotion of smart and innovative approaches to the agri-food industry. So that's an axis. So we've got a lot of room there to promote our collaboration on the project. We need more people, young people. So it's me again. As you heard, our partners and in Italy, you might have thought that they are a bit disorganized in their presentations, but I assure you that they're not. I will say something that I said yesterday as well, because some of you were not at yesterday's presentation. These people, what they're saying, one of the things that they've said, I mean, the last speaker said a lot, but what they're saying that quality is always something that you have to pay for. They mean that. In Italy, quality is something that you always have to pay for. In Greece, almost never. And we need to say this. Second, these people are fully organized. They give their olives to the olive mill. They don't touch anything at the olive mill. They're paid there at the measurement of their olive oil content. Our olive oil goes straight to underground tanks. We were taken there. Nobody touches them, only when they're going to be cleaned and polished. So they are cooled at a specific temperature, and they are then sealed with gas so that that there's no oxidation, and then they go to the packaging to the packaging premises, and they don't sell even a ton of the 20,000 tons produced in bulk. They have pre-sold to their customers, to supermarket chains, to stores where they sell abroad. The new olive oils planted, the fabulosa variety, and this is another parenthesis, sorry, but this is a recent variety to address the Xylella that did away with a lot of trees. So they weren't detained by this. They paid a lot of euros, millions of euros in research, and took immediate action to select specific sub-varieties that are resistant to this form of disease. And they are planting a lot of olive oils of the fabulosa variety, which has good organoleptic characteristics. And I wanted to say this, that, you know, I wouldn't want you to think that they don't have ready presentations and all that, and they're not taking this seriously. They are extremely organized, much better than we are, unfortunately, because us too, we could be organized. We'll see in the future. Let's hope that we have helped in a little bit with this program. So let's see what we can do. Very briefly, as a proposal for the use of the results of this program now, immediately, tomorrow morning, let's say. I've already said some of these things in Preveza, where we had a seminar there and a symposium. I'm going to reiterate some of these things, and I'm going to say something specifically for the region of Western Greece. Sorry, the Deputy Regional Governor is still here. We are a research institution. We cannot take on all these actions. We are a research institution, and we're also, unfortunately, also the control institution. Dimitra also does the controls, and it does this through the General Directorate for Agricultural Research, for the assurance, for quality assurance in agricultural production. This is our new logo. Sorry, because you know, the Greeks always change their logos and branding and everything. The Italians are not doing this thing, but with internationally, we are known as Elgo Dimitra. Dimitra is the ancient Greek goddess of agriculture. And I think this is good that at least we have a separate identity globally. So, and we were established in 2011 by the merging the following four already existing organizations: the OGECA Dimitra, the Organization of Agricultural Vocational Education, Training and Employment, the National Agricultural Research Foundation, and this is responsible for the controls on all types of agricultural products, and it also controls private control bodies for biological products and much more, the Greek Milk Organization, and all these together. What can we do directly? The quality seals that we have in the country, the seal that you saw before, is the result of the program, which says that a member, a producer, a cooperative, an olive mill has an olive oil that goes through this entire process we talked about. It's certified as authentic of a certain variety, and it receives an authentic olive net seal. But in Greece, this means nothing. In Italy, there is legislation that allows for this seal to be used as a quality designation. Legislation in Greece, I mean, things could change, and we could see but at the moment in Greece, the quality seals are the ones that we see here. And these are given by the AgroCert. There is no seal of certified traditional products in Greece. Why it doesn't exist is a different issue, but it's basically these three quality seals that we have at EU level, and the European and national legislation actually certify quality based on these three seals, as we see here. We see what we do as regards controls as the General Directorate of Quality Assurance. Fortunately or unfortunately, because we're short-staffed, although I'm a researcher, I also conduct controls. But apart from this, we also control biological, organic products, special poultry farming products. You'll all know about these AgroCert products, yeah? For all these controls, in the whole of Greece, for thousands of brands, products, companies, certified products marketed, we only have 15 controllers. So think about that. So you understand where we stand as a country regarding the control of these products. And unfortunately, we have fewer and fewer people because in all these organizations that were merged over the last 15 years, we only see people leaving because they're retiring and we don't have any new recruits. So when we want to support quality, we need to find a way to find the people to support it. It's not enough to have quality, but quality has to be demonstrated to exist. And to be demonstrated, we need to have controllers. So we award all these marks and the Greek mark as well, which where you see a Greek mark on the product, it's assigned by Elgo Dimitra. In theory, what I'm going to say might lead to a conflict of interest because I am the employee of a controlling organization and I consult people who are going to want to be controlled, but I make the proposal as a researcher based on my research findings because these need to be used in some way or capitalized in some way. So apart from these seals we talked about, there are also the agro standards. One initial thought as regards the products that are covered by the transnational area is to create an agro standard recognized internationally. These standards are they're prepared by Elgo Dimitra based on an order. Essentially, they're made by a company. There's not enough staff to prepare all the standards. We created the first standards, but we use these to certify specific production procedures, such as the one we talked about, from the field to the olive mill for olive oils and to the shelf. And this is assigned with a specific seal. Now, this can be done for a series of products. In our case, we focus on olive oil. Here we see these three seals, PDO, PGI, and traditional specialities guaranteed, and for a series of products. In Greece at the moment, there are many PDO products. A second thought would be to create a PDO for the entire transnational area that participated in the project. Of course, there are certain overlaps in this area. We have a PDO of Preveza, which unfortunately has olive oil, virgin olive oil, not extra virgin olive oil. There's no provision in the PDO specifications for extra virgin olive oil. And there's the PDO Elia Olympia. This does not affect us. We could create a folder covering the entire transnational area. Ideally, we could have two different PDOs, PDO for Lianolia, with the entire area of northern Greece, the Ionian Islands, and the PDO for Koroneiki variety in the region of western Greece, because there are many different PDOs that contain the Koroneiki varieties such as Kalanmata, Mesarya in different regions of Greece. And these are all based on the Koroneiki variety. This does not prevent us. Someone had asked this earlier on. I mean, we might have slightly different specifications within each PTO. So PTO Kolibari might say that we want to have lower acidity, for example, because I want this, because I want to certify an acidity up to 0.4, for example. This is a request of the examiner of the file. Extra virgin olive oil has lower acidity, but we might have PTO Mesara, which has a lower acidity level. It doesn't mean that the Koroneiki variety there has a higher acidity, but in Kolibari it has lower acidity. You understand what I mean? It's a matter of to what extent someone wants to defend extremely quality products, or if you want the PTO to include products that are extra virgin olive oil, but not such premium quality products and some certain organoleptic. Then we have PGI products, but these have a certain characteristic, as you'll say. One of the production stages, at least, has to take place in the selected area. For example, a PGI for an olive oil made PGI in Western Greece can be taken with tanks and packaged, but they need to issue an invoice, and this might package it in Italy or in Spain, and they might sell from there the PGI Western Greece, for example. The PTO specification forbids packaging or any other production stage with that outside of the PTO region. So the PTO of Kalamata has a product fully created in Kalamata or the whole of Messenia. The same could happen with a PTO in Western Greece. Now, the legal basis is specific. The EU legislation has been transposed by ministerial decisions into Greek legislation. Unfortunately, this is the national legal framework we have.
Έχουμε και εμείς να απονείμουμε
In Italy, perhaps, we would be able to give this to the producers that have been part of this now.
Αυθεντικό Livenet και να το επεκτείναμε.
And we might give them the authentic olive net seal and to extend it to those that can be included with the new specifications and with the best agricultural practices from fields to the olive mill and to others as well. But based on legislation, this is not allowed at the moment. So what we have now are the PTO, PGI, and traditional products in Greece. In Greece, we have 107 PTO and PGI products, most of which obviously concern olive oils. The largest percentage, 30 olive oils, 21 cheeses, 34 fruit, vegetable, nuts, table olives, etc. What happened? Now, Elgo Dimitra does all the controls and collaborates in some of these controls with the DAOC and the rural development directors of regional units that take part in the controls on these products they're jointly controlled. So the regions are also controllers in a sense, by extension. But again, this does not prevent us in the research program to submit our proposals on how the outcomes can be applied in practice and in a useful way for producers. Even the indicative data that follows shows differences between the different varieties. There are different positive characteristics of the varieties that can be used to be integrated in different quality schemes or quality seals. For example, we have acidity, as we said. We can set certain limits, lower or higher than they might be more stringent than the extra virgin olive oil to increase our quality. Based on our data, we have this. We have the good data. Sterols, for example. As I had said, for the Llanolia variety, we could make a PDO Llanolia. We can have those with a higher sterol content because we know that Llanolia has above a certain level. So we can say that we certify a product with a very, very high content, and we might advertise this as a competitor to Becel, for example, that it's very healthy against cholesterol. This is a huge market for healthy products. We could say the same for the Koroneiki variety. We can say this with fatty acids. Take a Koroneiki variety PDO with a high fatty acid content, then you can claim health benefits. PDO, Western Greece. You've seen these tables before. They can be all used in the specifications of the products, PDO and PGI, given that we have the statistics and the chemical analysis based on the products, and for sterols and for fatty acids. And in conclusion, to sum up, all statistical data we have and we've analyzed lead us to be able to ask if local authorities select this to give quality signs to these products and these regions, to the two different varieties that we've selected. In the future, we might select other varieties in different areas as well, to be able to export, to market a product with added value, either by giving it the designation PDO or PGI. In theory, we can make a standard for an agro products, as I said. You might think all these are strange words and strange procedures. I don't know if any one of you knows about these things, but in the end, I want to say all that to do all this, we need a production authority, an agricultural association and union of agricultural associations, or various associations of farmers to draft a folder, and with the assistance of the local authorities, municipalities, regions, etc., to submit this to the Ministry of Rural Development and to finally be approved by the European Union. These are the steps for assigning such a quality seal, which quality seal will give to the entire produced product that will receive it an added value. And the added value here is that the olive oils in Messina this year that were not PDO, for example, were sold in bulk for €3.50 per kilo. PDO olive oils with a seal, PDO seal, based on the specifications, were sold for 3.70 euros. So an extra 20 euros per, 20 cents per kilo just for a certification. So, and this was not a good year. In a good year, we have more than 60,000 tons. So imagine the added value, even for, and if it leads to 10 or 20 cents euros more in such big amounts of olive oil. Why we don't do this? I can't say. I've been working in the olive oil industry for many years, but unfortunately, we cannot collaborate. I'm tired of talking about this. You see, what I said about the Italians, for 25,000 producers have created an associations with great facilities with a subsidy from the state. Yes, and here too, olive mills are subsidized by the state, and so are packaging facilities, but they have actually turned the subsidies into great agricultural facilities, and they managed to coordinate with each other, 25,000 people. And I'm going to finish with this. 2 or 3 years ago, I was trying, because I have lots of contacts abroad and with olive oil consumers, I'd been trying to find 500 tons in Messina. Messina can create a lot of olive oil. And I called olive oil producers, associations, traders, and I did not manage, and I know most of them, and I did not manage to find 500 tons for one consumer. And it would open a door into a new market. Nobody had 500 tons there, but they could work together. And, you know, from 4 or 5 people, they could have reached that amount to get 500 tons to start entering a new market. It's a great problem, and we need to tear away from this if we want to grow. Sorry about all this. I know you've heard about me too much today. Bye. Thank you, Mr. Katsaris.
Thank you again, Mr. Katsaris.
Questions?
Any questions?
Mr. Vadarakis.
Mr. Vadarakis is a colleague from the Directorate of Rural Development of Achaia. And after Mr. Siomadis, my name is Vadarakis Yorgos. I serve in the Department of Qualitative and Quantitative Control in the region of Western Greece. Our director was here yesterday. I would like to refer to two things that either I believe you were not heard. The first one is the quality of food, generally speaking, within this issue framework. We could have results that could define authentication through quality. This gives another prospect to the product itself, and there are global attempts on this issue. I don't know if you refer to it. The protected designation of origin products are a very large amount of European products, not only in oil products. First of all, French people in cheese and wines. There is more than 5 billion euros turnover. And the EU protects such attempts, and this is important. But in terms of quality, we cannot have quality if we don't have quantity. We cannot have quality if we don't have quantity. You cannot ask for the quality of a product when you don't have the required quantity to support this product. We also had the environmental impact in a journal. We used to say that we should manage to have a hygienic certificate for a resin, but we don't have quantity. If you don't have quantity, how can you have quality? If the producers won't be organized as it happened worldwide, even in capitalistic countries, they have group unions and agricultural cooperatives. Even in the United States, everywhere there are cooperatives that they can have a certain quantity which will support later on the quality as well. In my experience is that if we have a problem in respect to quality, is the quantity, first of all. The producers, but not alone, should try to have a larger quantity in a better quality. Another issue I would like to bring forward for olive oils is that an agronomist that passed away, Mr. Michalopoulos, Rovax Agro was his company. He passed away some years now, but he proved that the olive with the traditional cultivation has a positive impact. It's not a burden for the environment, but is a positive, has a positive impact for the environment and cultivations. Congratulations on your project, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much, Mr. Vandarakis. Someone else who would like to place a question? Please have the podium. Taking the opportunity from Panayotis, I see that in the region of Western Greece and in the region of Epirus, we have some partners in the project. All the existing products are two, Olympia Preveza, the PDO Prevezas and Olympia. And the PDO Preveza is almost out of the production almost. The thing is that we have high level quality in our region, but we cannot prove this. So I will totally agree with you, Panayotis. PDO, Koroneki, olive, and everything, but we need the quantity. We shouldn't define this only in a specific region because we won't have a specific quantity. Quality comes along with quantity. In your observation that in Italy, quality is paid in Italy. In Greece, quality is not paid. That's why we would like to produce qualitative products in order to export them. It's not to integrate them in our local market. Our market is a specific market, is a minor market. The shares are equally distributed. So we need to export our products and not export them as raw materials. We need to promote European agricultural products in third countries outside the European Union. Would you like to go to the States? Would you like to go to Japan, Australia? There is the opportunity. Every year, 21st of April is the date of application, but we need an authority to cover a certain a specific area or a chamber. Or the region of Western Greece has the agroalimentary cooperative. But we need greater complexes. But even minor authorities could submit an application. We should have a common basket of Italy and Greece. What we generated in our project in the 21st of April, if we find a specific body, we could submit a proposal for sponsorship. I mean, doing specific actions. Agro-olive, I could say. It's not a matter of certification, it's a matter of promotion and agricultural practice. It's something like ISO, but in a different way. You said agro, but in a theoretical sense. Why are you talking about a theoretical sense? Which is this obstacle that we cannot have it in practical terms? So it's the authority, the body. So yeah, the Hellenic Agricultural Organization cannot be this kind of body because it's a monitoring body. It does the checks. The synergies of agricultural cooperatives should go a step further. We should find a certain body to undertake such actions. In addition, we could have, for example, synergies or 3 chambers of commerce or the region that could undertake such actions. I don't say that we should establish a new body from the beginning, but we could bring together the existing bodies. We have the label Authentic Olive Net, which is a private label, as we have decided. So what can be under such label? For example, this basket that we could promote it to Australia, Canada, this basket of authentic products with this label, can we go forward with it? I know that it's not institutionalized by the state. Well, in order to have added value, we should have a package that has a certification of PDO and PGI. Yes, but this is a slow process. Can we have the characteristic of Authentic Olive Net to be integrated in agro? Now it's late, but we should start someday. Is what I'd like to ask. Thank you very much. I believe Mr. Siomadis concluded very well with his queries and the conclusions he had. Thank you, everyone, for being here. See you again, all of you.